Hello. Hi there. Welcome. 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 Here we go again. Wow, what an interesting way to start this morning, huh? Okay. Yeah, I already bought the chapter or already prepared to buy the chapter. We're all set. I'm just going to get into it. I will mention something really quick though. I have not seen any spoilers at all. However, a few things popped into my feed that made me think, maybe this is the spoiler, so I'll just share it real quick. I wrote my I wrote like one of my predictions. I had a bunch of different ones. I wrote one of my predictions based on like what someone else said before any spoilers came out, and I kind of assumed it would be wrong because it doesn't feel like Kazuya's character. I literally write in it that's not Kazuya's character. So that I wrote that, and then someone 3D model. I'm looking at you, motherfucker. Said, "Oh, Johan, you're wrong, or you're gonna eat someone's ass or something." I'm like, okay, I see. I guess I was wrong about that one. Right after the spoilers came out, which, by the way, when you say that to someone, it's literally spoilers. Just heads up, you're literally spoiling it for me. Then two, some on Reddit, I got recommended the thing where it's like, should Kazuya wait 20 or 30 years? And I'm like, oh, does Kazuya say that again? And then last thing is some idiot quoted me on Twitter, and then in that quote, I was trying to see what it was a reference to, and then it goes up. Sorry, I scroll up the thread. I'm like, what are they talking about? And I see Chibi Reviews posted an image of Kazuya saying, "I'll wait for you until you feel you love me," and I'm like, is that what happens in this chapter? That could make sense. That could work for the characters, actually, now that I think about it. And it actually makes sense for Kazuya's character too at this point. So it'd be interesting if maybe Chizuru's the one who sparks the fight. Either way, that's pretty much my assumption is like, okay, maybe that's what happens in this chapter, but I have not seen any spoilers. Okay, let's get into it. I thought I pressed it. I'm a fool. Raising my king. Raising my king. Oh, it's so peak. It's so peak. I knew there. I actually I knew there was one. I knew there was a color page, but I forgot. Damn, peak. Actual peak. This is so good. That's so pretty. Wow. Yep. Okay. That got me head first. Head first. That's kind of funny. That's. I mean, that's actually fitting. That's actually kind of fitting that like the chapter starts this way. Kazuya is so focused on one thing, he gets hit by a whole other one. That's pretty in line with what actually ended up happening with the rejection. Because in the rejection, guess what? Most of the way the date plays out is Kazuya isn't paying attention to the things he wants to see, and he's not paying attention to Chizuru as much as he thinks he does. And then you get you get like what is it, whiplash, or you get smacked in the face with a rejection, and you're like, what the fuck just happened? How did we get here? Most readers are like this, where they weren't actually paying attention to what the fuck is going on, so they get sidelined and get the rug pulled from under their feet. In that same way, the way they're reacting to Chizuru reflects how they never fucking understood her, in my opinion. Which, honestly, no, not in my opinion. I actually believe it's true. Like, if you've seen anything from the story up until this point, it's definitely true. So I think this is actually foreshadowing. Let's continue. Oh, also foreshadowing for him running into Chizuru, because haha, you expect him to run into Chizuru, but he runs into a literal thing. Haha. What's a What's a telephone pole doing here of all places? Don't just pop out of nowhere. I've been here. I've always been here. Scary. He's talking to a telephone pole. Why'd the city put it here? The walkway's too narrow. I'm so stupid lashing out at a pole. Oh my god. It's not even subtle. It's not even subtle. Why am I lashing out at a pole? It's not even subtle. I'm so stupid. It's just one misfortune after another. Sorry is what she said. She basically means that she can't be with me yet. I kind of forgot to ask for more details. That would have been good, wouldn't it? That would have been good, Kazuya, wouldn't it? Also, for those wondering, I'm actually committing to growing a beard because apparently I can grow a decent beard. Um, so yeah, if you're wondering why I'm not clean shaven today, that's why. Does yet mean we could have something later? Is there a chance she might love me in the future? But maybe she was just sugarcoating it. I mean, she was rejecting me. She probably just said that to lighten the blow. She's a very kind girl, so that would explain it the best. I just can't think straight right now. Uh, what? I I ran into her. What kind of coincidence is this? Incredible timing. What a coincidence. Yeah, she's looking away. Yeah, she can't look him in the eye. We already discussed why she can't look him in the eye. God, there's no way she'd be in a good mood. Why am I trying to play it cool? Oh, crap, this is so awkward. She just got through rejecting me. There's no way she'd be happy to see me. Could this get any more awkward? She might avoid the train exactly for that reason. Even if I tell her that it was fate, it probably wouldn't work well. What should I say? Well, I'd be on my way. Gah, I never thought I'd see the day when I turn away from a walk with home with Mizuhara. She's acting strange. What? Hey! When did you get that? Near the beginning. She's had it the whole fucking time. The whole time. Is it your right foot only? My left foot too. It's not as bad as my right though. Oh my god, Chizuru. Oh my god. She think about that. She went through the whole date with that thing. The whole date and didn't say a damn thing. We're assholes. I'm saying it right now. People are assholes. She went through the entire date with that foot injury and she kept playing along and said nothing. We're the fucking villains of this story. A blister on both feet? That looks like it really hurts. Did she really go on the date while dealing with this? I can't believe she put up with that. Why didn't you say anything? Because it's not right. You put too much work into everything. It wouldn't be fair to ruin it because of me. We're the fucking assholes. And guess what? I was right. I called this. Go to my last stream. Didn't I call this? I said this word for word. I literally said Kazuya would be like, what the fuck? Why didn't you say anything? Did I or did I not call this? Did I or did I not call this? Last stream, I said this verbatim. Kazuya would be like, what the fuck? Why didn't you say anything? I see. She also got new shoes, huh? She prepared for everything and dealt with the pain because she didn't want to ruin the mood. I didn't notice at all. That's how important this day was to her. Just knowing that makes me so happy. We are the villains of this fucking story, you asshats. I'm fine. I can hop on my way home. Yep. No, it's fine. There's still a long way to go. I can't stand seeing you like this. My goat. He's better than all of us. He's better than all of us. We're the fucking villains. Just get on. While every other person wanted to attack and hurt her, Kazuya rejected and hurt? Fuck it. No, I care for this person more than being rejected. My fucking goat. My fucking goat. I might be heavy. No, not at all. I'm gonna stand, okay? Yeah. Look at her. What did I say? She literally wants physical contact. She literally wants physical contact. This is the most physical contact they have had at all. Look at her. She's so clingy. My name is Chizuru Ichinose. I'm an... It's time. It's time. My name is Chizuru Ichinose. I'm an actress, a rental girlfriend. I used to think that books and movies were nothing but fiction and that the real world was full of harsh realities. My possible dreams, my impossible dreams unrewarded efforts, and unrequited feelings. Still, even now, I remember that walk home. Whenever I was with him, it felt like I was inside a story. It's about to start. Oh my god, it's about to start. Good to know I was wrong. I'm kind of glad I was wrong. I'm kind of glad I was wrong. Wow, it's about to start. But didn't we say this? Didn't we say this? Didn't we say the cohabitation saga was like a dream? And that dream is ending. It feels like that dream was going to end. It feels like she's unworthy of him. What did I fucking tell you, motherfuckers? You bitches can't read. She literally feels unworthy of him. He is like a story, like a fairy tale hero. Bro, whenever I was with him, it felt like I was inside a story. But she lives in the cruel reality. My God. People don't fucking listen to me. People don't And so no fight, propose, kiss, and bang. I think that might still happen, just not how we expected. I think maybe I might have rushed it, but we'll see. There's still a possibility of a fight. There's still a possibility of a fight. But I really like this direction. It's such a good reversal. I also love this. Like it feels like Reiji was very clearly aware of how people were perceiving and understanding Chizuru. And this is literally him so okay. Reiji was clearly aware of how people would react. I just don't think he knew how big it was going to be, because the internet loves to blow things out of proportions. So I knew, like, based on how everything was presented, it's clear Reiji knew how people would react, but he didn't know how big it would be, and this reflects that. This chapter really kind of reflects that Chizuru really cared about this date, and she wanted to get through this entire date. Yeah, they aren't fighting right now. Yeah, I don't think a fight's gonna start right now. I think the fight will start to kind of resolve the core conflicts. And I think we're getting to that point right now, because we're having kind of we're having Kazuya again be selfless in Chizuru's eyes. We're having him again be a hero, completely lifting her up. She still doesn't see him. We've said this many times. There are very clear signs that Chizuru doesn't completely see what Kazuya desires, where he, what is it? Where he actually really wants her physically, where he wants to touch her, he wants to carry her. And we've said, like, in the date, Kazuya literally said this, in the date, they never touched. They never touched. How many traditional? I think next chapter is a possibility for the fight, kiss, propose, sex. I don't know about proposal. Like, that one's like in the air. That could happen. That could not happen. Um, but I do think it's I do think it's very possible it can happen, right? And I think that's why, like, Chizuru, like, it's almost like they don't want to fight. See, that's the thing. It's like they don't want to fight, but they need to. Kazuya doesn't want to fight her, but he keeps getting these thoughts in his head. Like with last chapter, where the thought of Minnie saying Chizuru is devious crept in, where certain thoughts kept creeping in and he wanted to know more, but he didn't say anything more because he sees how she's acting. Very similar to Chizuru and how she sees how Kazuya is acting. They're both acting very selfless towards the other person. Like, Kazuya is being very selfless here, to Chizuru being hurt despite her just rejecting him. Chizuru in the entire date is being extremely selfless to that Kazuya in the entire day, that, like, it's Kazuya planned this, Kazuya cared for this, so she went along with it. There were instances where Chizuru went along with the date so much that it went against what she actually wanted. She was just trying to make him happy. And this is something I actually called too. When we were reading, I placed my bet with all my friends. I hope it happens. I placed a bet with all my friends. Oh, okay. Good. Great. I wish these chapters were longer. I think the length of this chapter was very intentional, but it wasn't. It was 20 pages, I think. It was 20 pages. God, look at this. Look at her. She's so clingy. Look at the clingy, dude. There is so much clinginess. And this, dude, this, I remember that walk home. Unrewarded efforts, unrequited feelings, impossible dreams. There's very intentional hidden dialogue here. Impossible dreams. This feels like an impossible dream to many people and to Kazuya. Unrewarded efforts. It feels like Kazuya's efforts here were not rewarded, correct? And then unrequited feelings. Chizuru did not requite his feelings. Even still, I remember that walk home. Whenever I was with him, it felt like I was inside a story. I was living a dream. Wow, look at that shot. Wow, look at that shot. I don't know, man. She says she cares about her lifestyle and job more. That she never said that. I don't know why people are interpreting it like that. She never said that. She literally never said that. I'll pull it up. She never said that. I don't know why people are so adamant she said this. She did not say that. Read the text carefully. Read her text carefully. Considering my current lifestyle, my work, and everything else, I just don't think this is something I can jump into right now. She's not saying I can't do this because I want my lifestyle more. She's saying because my life is a total mess right now, I can't do this right now. To interpret that text as Chizuru saying I care more about this is factually incorrect. That's not what she said. She literally did not say this. She's saying because my life is a mess right now, because I have so much going on right now, I can't do this. But then you look at the rest of her reasoning. Add to that. Let's add to the rest of her reasoning. Because I can't, maybe the reason I kissed you is because I couldn't bear the idea of facing Nagomi-san or Kibe-san. So shame and guilt. Okay. Then maybe it's a bit of revenge because she says she can't forgive mommy. I talked about the mommy thing, I believe, in the previous stream, and we really delved into why Chizuru fucking hates mommy. Chizuru really hates mommy. Like, straight up fucking hates her because of the shit mommy was pulling and what she was saying. So that's kind of important. So there's a lot of bent up feelings underneath there. And then she says, maybe it's because I was feeling guilty about my grandma. So she has shame, stigma, guilt, revenge, anger, a lot of negative emotions connecting to her love. So she's saying, my love is impure because I have all these negative other and external aspects connected to that love. That's what she's saying. She's not turning him down for her job. That's a very weird interpretation that people seem to have whenever they're reading this text from Chizuru here. She's literally not saying that. She never says, I'm picking my lifestyle over you. That's people projecting. They're taking her words out of context. They're saying that's what she said when that's not what she said. Like literally, it's like they're being rejected and they're saying she's picking her job over me when she isn't. She literally never says this. She just says, like, this is the finishing line. My job is my lifestyle is a mess. I have too much going on right now. I can't be with you right now. That's all. I just can't jump into this right now. Right? Like, I don't know. That's a very weird interpretation. Let me read what some of the people wrote. There's a lot of writing coming up. Was the chapter kind of short, though, and we have to wait another week? It was short, and I think that was intentional. A part of it is So let's start from the top. I think the length of the chapter gave chills. Yes, the chapter felt, especially the sudden tone shift to when Chizuru gets on his back. Like the way that's done, it's like he's. Ooh, there's such a good thematic thing happening here. That's actually super interesting. This reflects how she feels. She's a burden. He's carrying her. She's nothing more than a burden. And this is actually present in chapter 300 something. Where's the chapter where she gets the massage? Right here. Chapter 329. She's talking to the lady. And listen carefully to what Chizuru says. Listen to what the lady tells Chizuru. What kind of guy is he? Do you like him? How do you meet? I think he's a good guy, but I don't know if I like him yet. I know my indecisiveness is causing the problems, but I'm doing everything I can. What is see, but we don't know what her efforts are, right? You never get the clue. You feel like you're seeing her efforts, but you don't actually know what it is. Okay. I just don't want to leave things to chance. I want to find the right person before I commit to a relationship. Okay, so that line can feel misleading initially, but she's also correct. She's not lying. Chizuru never actually lies at all, even at the very end of the day. Many people will say she is. She's not. She's being very honest. Like, she's being very direct, and she did not mislead him. I can't just outright reject him. Oh, yeah, right. But to make you think so hard about it means he must really like you a lot. You think so? Listen to what she's responding to. He must really like you a lot. You think so. And then it shows this, almost like she likes him a lot. Maybe I'm the one being looked after. Huh? Maybe I am the one being looked after. See what happened here? She is a burden. When she's rejecting him, every single word she says is a burden. These are my burdens. These are the things I have to live up to, and I can't. The harsh realities she spoke of in this chapter, the harsh realities she's lived through in this chapter that she says here, her grandpa passing away, her impossible dream, unrewarded efforts, and unrequited feelings. She lived through harsh realities, and she is a burden. She doesn't want to be a burden to him, and yet here he is carrying her. She wants to be saved by him. She wants him to carry her and save her, but she feels that is a burden to him. It's not fair to him. So she has to accept a harsh reality so that way he is happy, because he cannot keep carrying her. And many people will misinterpret my words here, but this is literally just Chizuru's POV. It stems from her guilt. It stems from the stigma and shame pushed upon her by characters like Ruka and Mami, even somewhat by characters like Minnie without meaning to. It stems from her grief. It stems from a lack of self-acceptance. And these things were not just, oh, Chizuru has baggage. These are things they need to talk through, because Kazuya has similar things of baggage, like very identical to her, and he just doesn't see it, and they just need to talk. And God, Reiji's so good. He literally foreshadowed this. Let's read. Like, it's like a narrative Chizuru's perspective of the past. We'll see the past forward. Oh yeah, I'm so curious to see like Chizuru's POV in all of this. I really hope the next chapter is completely Chizuru focused. Next chapter is 383, sorry, part 32. Also, another thing I really wanted to point out that actually plays into this theme of the characters kind of being out of sync. Who noticed that the numbers of the chapters are out of sync with the numbers from the arc? So, for instance, we start in chapter 352. That's the beginning of this arc. And that's part 1. And it continues like this. The arc, the love, is always behind a number, in contrast to the number of the chapter itself always being ahead. Like, they're literally out of sync, constantly. Like, I thought that was such a cool concept, considering the characters feel like they're literally out of sync in the entire arc. They feel like they're completely out of sync, which actually reflects the cohabitation saga. What's cool about the cohabitation saga that I only realized recently, I genuinely believe the cohabitation saga was the separation arc in disguise. And we never knew, because they're completely out of sync, even though they look like they're syncing up. They're actually trying to find each other. That's what made the arc super interesting. It feels like we're rehashing a lot of things, aren't we? When you're going through the cohabitation saga, doesn't it feel like we're rehashing certain plot points that we've experienced before? The reason for that is because these two are literally trying to find each other, and they can't because there was a rift between them, and now they're trying to find the other person. So naturally, they relive past experiences in hopes of finding that person, in hopes of reconnecting again. So much of the arc is about trying to reconnect again after you've lost the person because you know they're the one. These two are like destined to be together, but and you know they are your special someone. They are the one you want to be with. But what happens, they're constantly out of sync, constantly misunderstanding each other, constantly lost in the expectations and the ideas of how they should act and their traumas and their grief. Okay, let me read what some people said. She'll find out why he's doing everything and he's not for himself. If you're we're probably going to get a few chapters of this kind of wholesome, emotional, quiet intimacy. So sex seems like a longer way. I think it'd go straight to sex. They'll fall into their same insecurities after. I don't think the sexual. So okay, I think based on this, the closest thing we might get is a fight. But see, that's what's interesting. It's like okay, this chapter is not what I expected at all. But I do think we'll have like a big reversal soon. Like this is step one into the reversal, and I'm curious how the next few steps will happen. Well, Reishi already sets up a few things in this chapter. For one, he has Kazuya asking questions. He wants more details. What do you mean? What does it mean? Right? I just can't think straight right now. Okay, thinking straight. What do you do when you can't think straight? Just let it out. Just let it all out. You have a lot of questions you want to ask. There's a lot of things that are left unsaid. So it seems like now is the time where you talk about this stuff, where you kind of start like asking some of these questions. And on the walk home, they're not going to be just awkwardly silent. Wouldn't it be interesting for Kazuya to ask some questions? And right, like Kazuya's being a total gentleman here, right? He's not reacting to the boobs touching him. And look at how Chizuru's looking. Dude, she's breaking up. She's breaking apart. I might be heavy, right? Like, no, not at all. Look at this. It's so intimate. And I love how when she's saying all this, you never see her face. If you remove Kazuya carrying her, it feels like she's hugging him really tightly. Dude. Reiji is about to make us fucking cry. He's about to make us hate ourselves. He's going to make the haters wish they never fucking said anything. And I hope to God it lands like insanely hard next chapter. But yeah, with this kind of approach, I do think sex might not happen right away. I do think it'll need like a few more chapters. And Reiji doing quiet, slow intimacy that could escalate into sex, I think would be interesting. Maybe they won't have a fight right away. Maybe they'll have. Damn, it's actually getting harder to predict, which by the way is really fun. I appreciate that a story is not easy to predict. Personally, I really appreciate when a story is not easy to predict. I appreciate when a story doesn't evoke just the things I want to happen, but like actually tries to challenge me a little bit. This is that. Like he does the thing. A lot of people were expecting, oh, Kazuya is going to carry her home. But then he pulls a reversal. That's what makes it good. That sudden reversal that he introduced like from the very start right here, right? Literally starts with Chizuru. Isn't this identical to look at this? These two are identical to each other. She doesn't see her own actions. She doesn't see her selfless actions. She only sees her selfish actions. And look at this. Just as Kazuya says, just knowing that makes me so happy. This panel being identical to this panel, and we don't hear Chizuru's thoughts. What is she saying here? That makes me so happy. I'm actually getting a little emotional. Fuck. I love Reggie, man. I love how he can just pull that kind of emotion out of you. That's so good. What do you think many chapters recover in season 4? So season 4 is going to stop at chapter 300, 231. That's where it's going to stop, 231. Because but not in the first core, in both cores. The inner monologues of Chizuru feel like it's a future Chizuru who's telling us this and not together in the future. What do you think about that? It Not necessarily. Nothing about this implies they're not together. Give me a sec. My cat keeps meowing. He wants to go outside. Why is he like this? Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. So I was saying, it doesn't feel like this is Chizuru not with him in the future. But this is kind of important because Kazuya says something similar in that last chapter. If we go back to last chapter, what does Kazuya say at the very end? Right? He has his own monologues. And then you start getting his thoughts. In that moment, I felt like it hit me all at once. I wasn't thinking about what I should have done or what I was going to do from there, right? It's vague. It's intentionally vague, but it's not saying that we're not together. It's intentionally vague to not give you an answer because you're supposed to find the answer through this interaction. I was just disappointed that I wasn't able to get through to her. I felt like it would have been uncomfortable even if I had gone home and ended up alone with Mizuhara. I didn't think I could go to bed and go any sleep either. I decided to go off one step before Nagabara Station and walk the rest of the way. Maybe that was a good thing, right? Maybe that was a good thing. You get a maybe. You don't know what the result is. Just maybe that it's good. All right. So he runs into Chizuru. But why would it? But think about that. Why would it be a good thing if this is just the result, just that he found out about what she felt, right? Nothing necessarily changed. But then you have this. Whenever I was with him, it felt like I was inside a story. It feels like we're gonna get more from Chizuru's POV next chapter. Fast forward, time skip. I don't think so. That'd be kind of bad. Like I could see it. I could see why people would feel there's a time skip coming, but no. Also, shit. Let me hold off really quick. I gotta send the Japanese versions to my friend so we can see what the next time is. Well, I'm not watching that. I've yet to finish that. Okay. God, it's so gorgeous. It's so fucking pretty. It's also super fitting because, Hawaiians, it's clearly, yep, there it is. It's advertisement for season 4. Okay, so let me. I know a few people have already messaged me on Twitter, so I better. What's this? Oh, there are new cuts from season 4 posted in the magazine. Whoa. Damn, look at mommy though. Look at mommy though. Damn. That's from chapter 175. That's what this is from. 175. This is Chizuru when she meets Kazuya. These actually look good. These actually look really good. This one we've seen. This one we've seen. We have not seen this. We have not seen this. And we have not seen this. So these look good. Okay, I'm kind of excited. They actually look like they're doing a good job with season 4. Okay. Okay. Okay, so first let me... So there's that one. There's that one. Yeah. It's one of those instances where I'm genuinely glad I'm wrong. I like this direction. It's so much more interesting. I genuinely love this different direction that leaves you uncertain. I think that's what makes this super effective. It leaves you uncertain. You don't know. You feel like it's over, and it keeps making you feel like it's over on purpose. He's intentionally, continuously making you feel like it's over, and this is like the last flames of it dying out, but it's like slowly telling you. But that's actually, to me, a misdirect, because this entire arc has been a misdirect. Everything about it has been a misdirect. So it just feels too fitting that we should interpret this as a kind of misdirect. Let me see what else people said. Did the speech sound like a bit like a wedding vow? How many times do we even see the square box? Oh my god! That's a good one. I'm gonna read what they said. Does this speech sound a bit like a wedding vow? How many times do we even see the square box monologues? This is actually kind of peak. Louvdu, I'm gonna put you right here. This is peak. This is an amazing interpretation. It's like their wedding vows. They thought it was over, but it ain't. I love it. I love it. That's amazing. I love this theory. Peak. I'll always bring bad endings when MC or female senior like this. No. But we've had Kazuya and Chizuru narrate like this, and it did not end bad. There are many instances where it didn't, so I don't know where you're getting that. Even more so, she realizes how amazing Kazuya is to the point of having Ruka, Minnie, and even Mami fall for him. So she compares herself with the other girls. Maybe? I know she compares herself with Ruka and Minnie. Not so much Mami. She fucking hates Mami. Can we know if the manga is ending? I don't... Nothing has indicated that it's ending anytime soon. Just that they're reaching a sort of conclusion. I feel like people are way too impatient with stories, and by the time the payoff happens, they're still angry, and the process can't connect dots. Yes, it's very reactionary and quick, and people don't really take the time to reread. People don't reread stories anymore. I've reached 100 viewers before. I feel like that's not really shocking. She maybe thinks you say that you love me, but you'll be tired of me and abandon me like my father did my mom. Yeah, I mean there is an element of abandonment here for sure. I don't know if it's like, but yes, like a child does blame themselves for when someone dies, when someone leaves. So yes, I think Reiji is smarter than you. No offense, I agree with you. Reiji is smarter than me. I've said he's smarter than me. He's the one writing this story. He's the one who gets these characters. Yes, I agree. I do feel vindicated in certain things that I felt about the story that like often come true, where like, for instance, I wrote this whole thread on Twitter that ended up being wrong. Mind you, it ended up being wrong. But what was I right about? Kazuya is not us. Kazuya, yeah, he's the writer. Author is trying to rage bait us. No, he's not. No, he's not. He literally thinks like, why are people like turning on Chizuru like they were writing her like love letters before, and then suddenly now they fucking hate her. It's like, did you ever really love her? I bet that's what he's thinking. Anyways, no, like I proved to you that one, like I said this before, we don't understand Chizuru, and you don't understand Kazuya. How I predicted it is completely like in the air. Yes, but I am confident in that these two need to get very intimate and like actually have sex in order for their relationship to change. Not just like they need to talk about it, but also intimately connect with each other. And I'm very adamant that this is something that needs to happen, but it's not that simple. Okay. Anyways, this is so real. He has done so much for her, and she realizes she's not reciprocating his feelings, and she feels like a burden. The chapter emphasizes it. Yes, 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 and yes. I guess you need crazy IQ to be a writer. Not necessarily, no. Reiji is just very unorthodox, and he definitely it likes it when people don't necessarily enjoy his work, because it means at least there are people who do enjoy it, because not everybody feels the same about a certain thing. The same thing happened with who here knows Metal Gear? Who here knows Metal Gear Solid? Who here has heard of Hideo Kojima? Hideo Kojima doesn't like orthodox writing. He went out of his way to make his second game for Death Stranding like not orthodox, because he didn't like how everybody started liking it. Because if everybody likes it, that means there's nothing wrong with it. So that a story should not be perfect. Or the girlfriend is just that saying all the roads lead home eventually. Yeah. She's speaking in the past tense in this chapter. She is remembering how she felt. Yes, and so does Kazuya in chapter 381. It's very similar. Why is Kazuya giving her a piggyback ride? Why? Because he loves her and he saw how selfless she is? That's a very weird interpretation to have, buddy, but all right. Don't you think there'll be a time skip? She's using Kazuya has okay. Kazuya used past tense here too. Kazuya used past tense here too. Just give me a bit. I sent a thing to my friends so we know what the next time is. It'll tell us what we should be expecting from next time. If anything, I expect a flashback, not a time skip, a flashback. That's what I'm expecting. This feels like we're gonna have a flashback. I think yeah, she's talking in the past. I think we're gonna go to the past, because so much of Chizuru's struggle has been centered in the past. So much of her character struggle has been centered in the past. So rewriting the story from her POV is so important. And we get constant hints of how Chizuru feels like Kazuya is like a hero and he's a dream, and how she constantly thanks him for the film, and how she thinks he's cool, and how she constantly goes with what he wants to do in this date. That's super important. I feel the same way reading Chizuru's monologues. It's like the manhwa I read in the past. There's a chance that they'll not be together. I forgot the name of the manhwa. I don't know. You also don't see his face. It looks like she's crying on his back. Yeah, kinda. Or she's hugging him very tightly. I think she's asking Kazuya if she's heavy also means she's asking if she's a burden to him in general. Yes! Yes, now we're learning. I can't tell you why I'm getting major shotgun wedding vibes. We'll see. I don't know. Ow, the name of the manhwa is The Girl Downstairs. My whole week is sad because of this manhwa. You were all warned. I'm not reading it, so it's okay. Small, but I feel like I'm not him not reacting to her chest touching him was him graduating in a sense. No, he reacted. Kazuya reacted. He just chose not to freak out. He's putting her first like she put him first. No. You're kind of misinterpreting the intent here. Let's see it again. He reacts. His ba-dump. You're literally seeing the ba-dump. He reacts. Reaction is normal. There's nothing wrong with that. What is different is he's putting her first. You're not heavy. You're not a problem. It's okay. I'm not going to focus on this. This isn't the focus. You're the focus. Just like the movie arc. Just like the cheer up date. You're the focus, not me. It's selfless. It's by design selfless. He's putting his feelings aside and focusing on her. Chizuru wants to be with Kazuya. She's so happy. It's like a fairy tale for her. Yes. And fairy tales end. Life isn't a fairy tale. Why do you think Chizuru often tempers him? Chizuru often tempers Kazuya because he literally speaks like a fairy tale. Chizuru wants to be with my go. happy belated birthday, dude. Oh, thank you. Kazuya, the last romantic. I don't think Chizuru's internal monologues is from the future because she herself said that if she were to enter into a relationship, she would leave aside the issues of being a rental girlfriend. Rather, it may be a reflection of the same of the moment she felt. Yeah, that could be a good way. It could just be a reflection of this moment. My name is Chizuru Mizuhara. I'm an actress, a rental girlfriend. I, I used to think that books and movies. I used to think books and movies were nothing but fiction, and the real world was full of harsh realities. She doesn't think that anymore. I think people miss that. She doesn't think that the world is full of harsh realities anymore. I'm an actress, a rental girlfriend. Notice how she says rental girlfriend like this? Huh. She doesn't say, this could mean nothing. Mind you, this could mean absolutely nothing. But notice how she says rental girlfriend. Like it's not her anymore. Just as this isn't her anymore. So she doesn't believe this anymore. Even still, now I remember that walk home. Whenever I was with him, it felt like I was inside a story. Dude, it is intentionally freaking us out. I know that. I know he's freaking us out on purpose. He's eliciting fear. Because the dialogue feels like, oh, that relationship ended. But I don't believe... Dude, stop that. Stop that. I'm not getting negative about this. You fucking stop that. Nope. I refuse. I'm not letting the negativity take over. Fuck that shit. Fuck that shit. Rather, maybe a reflection of the same moment she felt. Yeah. This feels like a speech. I like the person who said this feels like wedding vows. I like the person who said this feels like wedding vows, because if you think of it like that, it feels so much better. So that's I will make your theory my theory. Stolen. I'll take it for myself. The good thing about this chapter is that Kazuya reacts naturally when he yeah. We already said this. More like reflective, melancholic at learning what they did wrong, but nostalgic and grateful for the breakthrough they put in the positive direction. Yeah. Possibly. Man, say whatever you want. I know this is gonna end with a bad ending. I mean, you can feel what you want to feel. I don't feel that way. Okay. Next chapter, absolutely not. Heart. I don't know what you mean. I guess we'll read the ending in 5 to 10 chapters. Last page in the chapter in my native was English translated story. It was translated to fairy tale. Ooh. Yeah, that makes sense. Ruka is winning clear. No. What if he's watching this stream the whole time and decides to change the ending into bad ending? He can't. Reiji at this point within the story... Okay, you clearly don't know how manga creation works. Izayana, you don't know how manga creation works. The Reiji has already written 5 chapters. So chapter 383, 384, 385, and 386 are all done. All those chapters are done. He's already written them and submitted them. They're done. So no, that doesn't make any sense. He would be at like chapter 387 or 388. That's where he is right now. Not where you're talking about. Reiji doesn't write like this. Artists don't write like this. I don't know why people seem to assume, oh, he writes it every single week. No, he doesn't. Reiji is 4 or 5 weeks ahead every time, always. And the one time he wasn't, he caught up. The one time he wasn't, because he decided to change the story and how he wanted the ending to play out. It was very risky and it was very hard. He wrote it differently. So no, that's not... He's still caught up. He's always like that far ahead, and you never ever want to be behind when creating a manga. That's actually very risky. That's why like artists who need to constantly take breaks and stuff, like when they took a break, they'd already submitted like a good chunk of chapters by that point. But you're only seeing the end result of that. You're not seeing them actually like taking the break. The boxes are structured the same as chapter 1, so a dynamic shift into a double down on how important the moment is. And like Reiji already told us, this is a very important moment in Chizuru's life because of the rain. because the rain always appears in important moments. About the not sex part, at their level, the close contacts is the closest intimacy they have put, not because of some earthquake, cartoon drop, or external factors. Yeah, this is the closest they've been naturally. And yeah, dude, I can't wait to be proven right next chapter. I can't wait to be proven right next chapter. I can't wait for Vickers and I to be fucking right and to realize this was all about intimacy and how she feels like a burden to him. Yeah, hon, I just woke up. The final panel seems weirdly translated. Any news? It seems fine. I sent a thing to my where is it? Oop, move this here. Oh, he's still not awake, damn. Or busy. Maybe he's just busy. Oh, what's this? Shiyunji family ended. Thank you for watching the episode. Please continue to support us. Yeah, I'm definitely sensing a season 2 for Shiyunji family. Anyways, let me read some of the other comment. Page 17 portrays light and darkness perfectly. Which one is it? Shit, now I gotta count. Why are you making me... Oh, wait. Maybe I don't. Let's go to... Do these have page numbers? No, they don't. Son of a gun. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Yeah, I don't know what you mean. I don't know what you mean. Fairy tale sounds plausible to me. I don't know why that narrate by the ending of the last 2 chapters like that. Like they're describing a story that already lived. I don't know what that's called. That's good question. But it's just narration by the characters. Reiji will have his editors, colleagues, and friends. A history is not necessarily in lonely work. Yeah, they're talking in the past, and it feels like they're remembering it with sadness. Like no, they're remembering the situation going poorly, but then the walk home was like super important. Thoughts on the kiss in chapter 384? I don't know. Could be. That would be interesting. Maybe chapter 330, maybe part 33 could be when everything changes. Part 33 could be. It felt really nice to see Chizuru clinging to Kazuya. Yeah. Also, Kay did say, why didn't you say anything when referring to the blister? Bro kind of exploded the deeper Chizuru keeping stuff to herself. You're getting hints. You're actually okay. So about that. Like I said, we're getting hints. Reishi's slowly building to it. Let me pull up the English. So you get a lot of hints that Kazuya wants to say and a lot, and he feels a lot. And he keeps getting distracted and he doesn't know what to think. Look at him. He's angry. He's pissed, right? We keep getting him pissed and upset and not understanding what's going on. Literally, we keep getting hints that a fight might happen. So this is important. It feels like this entire sequence is very, very, very important and like something that really needs to happen. Like the end result of the date wasn't actually the end result. Like you're focusing so much on the expectation, you're missing the point of what you should actually be focusing on. And Reiji's playing directly into that. When he tells us these words from Chizuru that sound melancholic and sad, it's very intentional to misdirect our view because of how she's speaking it. So we get hints that Kazuya wants to say and ask a lot. He explodes at a fucking pull. He gets mad and starts yelling at a pull. He thinks to himself, why didn't I ask for more? He wants to know more. Clearly something isn't right. And then he stops and just says, I just can't think straight right now. Okay, what happens when you can't think straight? That's usually how a fight happens. When you can't think straight, when you can't piece everything together. So Reiji's clearly setting up for a conflict between the characters. He's setting up for something to happen. He's setting up for Kazuya to start asking questions. What has Kazuya always kept thinking in this entire arc up until this point? Questions, more questions, because he doesn't understand. However, he never asks them. this is setting up for Kazuya to start asking more questions. And what does he do? What is the one thing he does when Kazuya sees the blister? When did you get that? Why didn't you say anything? And she explains. She gives him an answer. I've been hurt from the very beginning. Think about that. Chizuru literally says, from the very beginning, and I want you to take that with the context of the entire cohabitation. From the very beginning, I have been in pain. And I kept going, even though I was hurt. Think about that. Now go reread the cohabitation and see how hurt she was throughout all of it. I went through it with you guys. Remember when I was like explaining Chizuru to you guys and I showed you how fucking hurt she was? Like how emotionally hurt and alone she felt for like a huge part of the cohabitation saga. And it comes back right here. It's here too. Okay? So this is kind of important, okay? I want you to keep that in mind, that Chizuru is very hurt and she feels very alone, but she keeps going regardless. Because, bitch, this is love. But she doesn't think her love is worthy. Reiji is literally writing love, right? He's not focusing on the manga. He's focusing on the idea of love and what that means. And I think people are too busy going like, oh, you're not doing what I want it to be. Anyways, binging all 3 seasons over the last 3 days when it's happening in the story now, it makes way too much sense. Yeah. Have you translated the last page side phrase in the? I'm working on it. I sent it to my friend who speaks a little bit of who writes who can translate it. I sent it to a friend who can translate it. He hasn't seen it yet. The date isn't over yet until you're home. The moonlight illuminates the princess's heart. Wow, what did I fucking say? I hope this is right. But that's so good. The moonlight illuminate the princess's heart. That's so peak. Yeah, I used to. She says I'm an actress to her girlfriend, meaning I guess it's not far from present now. We gotta. There we go. I think I might be wrong, but let me get this straight. Chizuru has read a lot of books, and she thinks what books are actually fiction, and she's her comparing the fiction of books with the reality. She thinks fairy tales are silly. She thinks fiction is silly, but she feels like she's living in fiction right now. Maybe I'm missing translation stuff as well. I'm not sure why she said whenever I was with him. Yeah, well, it's true. Whenever she was with him at all times, she always felt like she was living in a fairy tale, like she was living in a dream. This is something I've called too in the past. I've said this too. It literally feels like a dream to Chizuru. The ending of both chapters can either be from a sad future or post-sex clarity. This is one of the reasons why I stuck with Kanokari for so long. Sometimes romance isn't as grandiose as what you see in other manga. It can be something as simple as this. Yeah. The ending narration, I mean, Eren Yeager, Horiwa Eren Yeager. Funeral speech. Jesus. One kind of relationship can die, but a new form can. Yeah, sometimes something has to die in order for something new to form. This is the death of their original relationship. This is what this is. This is the death of the original relationship, so the new one could be born. Like this is that they need to end what they have interpreted the relationship to be up until this point, so it can all change and be the relationship they want it to be. Relationship can step opposed to the slate being wiped clean. Yeah, it's not wiping the slate clean. They're starting something new based on a breakup, which is literally how the story started. Literally, how did the story start? The story started with a breakup. The story started by not being the lovey-dovey thing we always expected. It starts with a breakup. And then he meets her. So now Kazuya had a breakup, if you will, with Chizuru. And now he's going to meet the real Chizuru. We're going to meet the real her now. right? The fake Chizuru is gone. Now we're gonna see the real one. Some people are gonna probably see what this point of rejection. Some people are probably gonna say, "What was the point of the rejection?" Then it's gonna be explained. Kazuya might be let them feel this way, but you're supposed to be confused. Just as Kazuya doesn't have the answers, neither do we. Kazuya might be something different than reality because he's actually way better than how he has done for her. She thinks Kazuya is just like a hero in a fiction story. Yeah, I can see that. Why is Aaron Yeager popping off in my Why is Aaron Yeager popping off in my fucking thingamajig? What's the next chapter right now? What's the mood? It doesn't seem like a fight will break out. Man, it's so over. Okay, Izani, chill out, bro. I don't know what's going on with you. I don't know why you're fucking dooming in my chat. Wait, Reishi finished writing 6 chapters already? 5 chapters? He's not like other mangakas like Oda with One Piece. I don't know how Oda writes. I'm not gonna be real. I don't know how Oda writes, but the way Reishi writes, he's always 5 chapters ahead. He's always at least 4 to 5 chapters ahead. Every time, consistently, always. He literally always is. The way we knew this is back in the day when he used to stream on Fanbox. He would literally show like 4 chapters ahead, and sometimes we would see the number of the chapter. Like you would get a little hints of it, but he wouldn't show you everything. So yeah, Reishi is always ahead. I don't know how Oda does it, but I know most artists, like, they don't turn it in every single week. They need some time beforehand. Nah, it's over. She remembers the walk fondly because she didn't end up with him in the end. Rip. Nah, don't agree. Don't agree. Anywho. Kazuya going Thanos mode like you wouldn't live with your own failure. Kazuya carrying Chizuru like Frodo, I can carry it for you, but I can carry you. Ah. A fight will happen afterwards. They'll probably not see each other for years. Dickens' Great Expectations all over again. No, this doesn't feel like that kind of story. Like, literally, it's sitting with the sadness. It's sitting with the melancholy, and it's making you feel fear and regret. And that's the point, to get past that. Everything about this arc has not been this. So naturally, it won't end like this. The cohabitation condensed in this one date, and Kazuya lifting house, Chizuru's equals Kazuya lifting the house, Chizuru's rejection. She is sad because Kazuya is leaving. Yeah, that could be one way to interpret it. Hey, Johan, great chapter. I'm going to work on the translation right now. Thank God, he arrived. Our savior is here. Chizuru putting Kazuya's perseverance into practice herself. Yes, Kazuya's perseverance is a huge factor here. A fight seems unlikely with the current mood, though that could change. I really don't get why she rejected him, but she'll probably change her mind very soon. I think we've already kind of talked about why she rejected him. I genuinely think a part of it is like, even if we remove my theory about intimacy, let's remove that. Even though this chapter kind of fucking proves it. Like, I don't know what else you need me to say other than Chizuru really wants intimacy with him. Like, you don't look at this and think to yourself, this girl does not want intimacy. But let's delve into why Chizuru rejected him, since a few people seem to be asking here and not understanding. Let's read her text very carefully. I still can't put it on. Expectations. She has expectations of how she should be in this relationship, okay? She talks about the kiss, and there's things she leaves out here. But she says, maybe I couldn't bear the idea of facing Nagomi-san. Stigma and shame. So she feels shame and stigma because the reason she kissed him might not have been solely for that purpose. Then she says, maybe it's because I couldn't forgive Mami-san. Revenge, anger, hatred. She hated Mami-san. Hatred does not blend with love, does it? Like most people will say, hatred and love are 2 separate things. You shouldn't have those together. Then she says, maybe I felt guilty over my grandma. So she feels guilt, stigma, shame, anger, hatred, all in line with her love, all external factors that have nothing to do with love. These are all selfish things. And what has Kazuya presented him to be in this entire time? Selfless, right? What does Kazuya do here? In this chapter, what does Kazuya do? What did Kazuya do here? Heartbroken, turned down, he carries her home. It's selfless. He's not getting anything back. Chizuru isn't selfless. So while she does selfless things, she also does selfish things. Therefore, she is not in love. Because by that logic, she would not be in love, because love is supposed to be selfless. It transcends desire. It transcends these things, right? When you're in love, you don't need to hold hands. You don't need to do sex. You don't need to feel any of these other emotions because you're putting that person first. They are amazing and you can do all the selfless things for them. But that's not actually love, because love has selfishness in it. So to Chizuru, the problem is literally her words here, the idea of fiction, that fiction presents love as super magical and amazing and perfect, contrasted by the reality she understands, and Kazuya literally representing that fairy tale, that idea of a fairy tale, is the problem. She thinks she is a burden. She thinks her problems are a burden. She thinks she is a problem because she doesn't give him the love he wants because her love is tainted. Expectations are the fucking problem. The idea of what you need to be in love is the problem. She thinks she's not in love, and in so turn, she will always burden him. That's how she perceives herself. That's why she rejects him. Because in the end, she thinks she will only hurt him. This is a deep reflection of Chizuru's trauma around her grief. That's a deep reflection of that. In the end, when her grandmother passed away, she could not tell her the truth. Therefore, she hurt her. This in turn gets reinforced to her in Paradise, in Hawaiians, where what happens? Nagomi literally blames her for not telling Grandma Sayuri. Then, when Chizuru feels good about kissing Kazuya and clearing stuff up, even though it's morally gray, what happens? Mommy blames her for the feeling she just had and literally calls her a back alley whore. Then Ruka tells her, you just cuckolded me. Guilt. These emotions that make you feel good are not good. You should not be feeling those when you are in love. The stigma that the characters throw at these characters, just as the stigma people throw at sex workers or people who work similar jobs as Chizuru, actually affects them and makes them feel like they're not good enough. So Chizuru has a struggle of worth. This is why she actively feels like she's a terrible person in this entire arc and keeps telling herself, I need to hurry, I need to fix myself, I need to fall in love. Do you see the problem? And at the core of all of this is the element of intimacy and sex, because what is the thing that society has always said is like, it's the stuff we put in the closet. We don't talk about sex. Sex is something you just do, but it's not really part of love. We just toss it to the side. This is why I believe sex is at the center of all of this, because sex represents all of the bad stuff. It is, when you think sex, you think it's bad. You don't think, you enjoy sex, but you think of it as a kind of guilty pleasure. You don't necessarily enjoy sex unless you're in a relationship and you've gotten past that phase of that mental thinking. But how society perceives sex, we don't talk about it in media. We don't talk about it in fiction. We only kind of show it. We don't show the graphicness, the messiness of sex, the messiness of that intimacy. We avoid that. We put that in a separate bin called pornography or called adult industry, but we never want to talk about it. Schools will kind of discuss it, but they'll never really delve into that messiness and that uncomfortability. So that is so core here. That's why I genuinely think sex is so core here. The idea of that kind of physical intimacy where you're really vulnerable is super important here because it reflects the character's own insecurities. That Kazuya wants sex, therefore he's a bad person. He cannot show this until he is accepted. Chizuru wants sex, wants physical intimacy, but believes she has to remove that from herself because she feels this way, she is not a good person. Just as she is not a good person for lying, just as she is not a good person for not feeling completely selfless about the relationship. It is all stigma and shame. It completely roots back to the very name of the series, Rent-A-Girlfriend. Your immediate thought when you think of that name is what? Stigma and shame. You think that's gross, that's disgusting. That's not, why would you write that? What is wrong with you? Why would you ever depict that? Contrasted by how the story presents it and what it says about it. That's the idea. That is why Chizuru turns him down, because of stigma and shame, because she thinks she is a burden to him, because she believes she is unworthy and cannot live up to the expectations. That is why she turns him down. She thinks she is the problem. Why do you think when she turns him down, if you read her speech, what does she say? I went to the wrong chapter. Her speech is not about him. Kazuya is removed from these answers. It is not about him. She says it starts by being about him. I think that I might be in love with you. It starts by being about him. Then it shifts. She pulls out the ring. The moment she pulls out the ring, it's not about him anymore, and she literally sinks into shadows. People here are not upset at Chizuru. They are upset at her shadow. They are upset at what she thinks what they think she is. They're upset. So you know when you shine a light on someone, and now you can see them clearly? Think of it as kind of the flip. You shined a light on someone, but you're not looking at that someone, you're looking at the piece that's removed from the light that is on the ground. So they're in front of you. They're standing right in front of you. I'm pointing at you guys. They're standing in front of you. But you're looking at the ground and what's missing from the light, not what the light is illuminating. Do you see the problem? This is why, when Chizuru turns him down, what is the first thing we see? Her shadow reflected out of the light, not her. The first thing we see turn him down? Her shadow, not her. Why do you think throughout the entire arc, we see her in shadows? Actively, consistently in shadows, hidden and alone. Shadows, shadows. It's all in shadows. Chizuru is actively hidden in shadows because she feels like a shadow. She feels like she is not herself. She feels like she's not good enough. She is not the one he is in love with in this relationship. She cannot be worthy of this relationship. I still can't put it on yet. Just as people are angry at the shadow of Chizuru, she's not seeing herself. And get out. Goodbye, never seeing you again. Dumbass. See them clearly now the rain is gone, you could say. Yeah. It's about the end result of this is to see each other clearly. And what better representation of that is there than, where is it? Give me a sec. I gotta find it. Pictures, background. What better representation of seeing each other clearly is there than this? Directly in the eye. She is shadowed, he is in light. See what I mean? The end result of this is to see each other clearly. With the ending narration, I don't see a fight coming. My guess is a figurative as well as a literal walk down the memory lane. Plenty of callbacks in recent chapters. I do think so, but I think a fight could still happen. I'm still pretty adamant about a fight possibly happening between the two, considering Reiji has actively foreshadowed a fight, and there's many hints of a fight. I don't think it'll happen next chapter. I don't think it'll happen next chapter, mind you. But I do think it will happen. Could you please respond to this thread? It addresses interesting topics. What thread? You didn't send me anything. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm late when you started the stream. I don't know if you noticed, but the face that Chizuru made when she got carried by Kazuya resembles from the chapter where they hug at the photo booth. That's exactly what I was thinking of. That's exactly what I was thinking of. Straight up. No joke. Literally what I was thinking of. So he's saying this. It's not the same. It's this one. This particular one that he's talking about. Let me pull it up for you. I'll go read the translations in a sec, Crumpy. But I just want to show this. So this face Chizuru makes right here, is pretty similar to the face she makes when they hug. Let me find it. Which, by the way, again proves my point. It's about fucking intimacy. Fuck you. Oh, wow. First try. Chapter 80. It's not quite the same, but it is similar. Not quite the same, but it is similar. These two right here. Yeah, there's a bit of similarity. Okay. What a chapter, so well done. So she is the shadow in his light. Yes. Dude, that's Chizuru's hair color. Yeah, her hair color is black. She feels like a shadow in his light. He is the light, and she is the shadow in it. Literally, what do you see here? What do you see here? She is on his back. She is the thing that is behind him, and he's taking her to the light. He is carrying her to the light. He's carrying her to the finish line. She couldn't walk on her own. She needed help. What did I say about this arc? What did I say about this fucking arc? How did we start this arc? How did we start this arc? How did we start this arc? I'm going to say it one more time. Come on, work with me, fellas. How did we start this arc? We started this arc with them walking together. We started this arc with them walking together, and we end the arc with them going home together again. But he's helping her to the finish line because she couldn't reach it on her own. She couldn't reach the finish line on her own, so she needed help. Fuck. She thought she would have to carry herself alone. She thought she would have to limp on her way home, just hop home alone. And he's like, nah, I'm carrying you home. Dude, if this is not symbolism for Kazuya literally helping her reach the finish line, like actually figure everything out, I don't know what is. This is literally that symbolism. Dude, he's literally carrying her into the moonlight, to the finish line. Bro. Yeah, no, I think now we're finally going to get some Chizuru's POV. I think now is the time. Now is the time. I wonder if there's any meaning to the focus on Kazuya's new shoes. Oh, you mean when he stands up? Yeah, his shiny shoes. Well, what did Kazuya say about these shoes? What did Kazuya say about these shoes? They could literally last a lifetime if he takes care of them. And here he is taking care of Chizuru. And CJ, you are gone. Ban that guy. Have you seen the meme where it's like, someone shoot that guy? That's me right now. Shoot that guy. Ban that guy. Whenever people come in here and they're assholes, I'm just immediately banning you from now on. No more mercy. I'm done being nice. No more Mr. Nice Guy. I don't give a shit anymore. I wonder if there's any meaning to the focus on Kazuya's new shoes. Yeah, the shoes literally represent his commitment. And us focusing on Kazuya's shoes is important. Why? Because what hurt Chizuru? Her new shoes. The new shoes she got hurt. Just as so Chizuru can't walk in her shoes. Kazuya uses his shoes to help her walk. The shoes that reflect his commitment. Chizuru, in trying to doll up and look nice for Kazuya, guess what happened? She hurt herself. She hurt herself trying to be her best version for him. She did it for him. She bought these clothes for him. She dressed up for him. And she got hurt. So Kazuya uses what he bought for himself for this relationship that he planned to fully commit to, reflected in the shoes that you can make these shoes last a lifetime. In the commitment that is reflected in these shoes, what does Kazuya do? He uses them to help her walk home. That's why it focuses on the shoes. That's a good catch. That's a nice catch. That's why they focus on the shoes so much. Because Chizuru couldn't walk in her shoes. So he carried her home. Damn. And look at her. She's such a mess. I love how she's such a mess. She has the umbrella in one hand, the shoe in the other hand, one like she is a complete mess, and he is carrying her home. That's what this is. She is a complete mess. She feels like a complete mess, and he's carrying her home because she doesn't know what to do on her own. because she can't figure this out on her own. She doesn't see what's right in front of her. I don't love the line with Kazuya's grandmother saying she'll be seeing Chizuru's grandmother soon. It's as if they're kind of explaining their relationship at her funeral. Damn. I mean, that's been a while back. It's been a while back since Nagomi said that shit. Nagomi might die eventually, but we don't know when. I think she thinks she doesn't deserve his love and has nothing to offer in return. Yep. Maybe she thinks that she can't get close to him physically and that she's just forcing herself on him. Correct again. That was actually, yeah, everything you just said was right. I'm above Lowell Manchester, accepting and carried by Kazuya. So good. Transcendent. She's carrying, also carrying her like a child. Yeah. Yeah. She kind of looks like a messy kid too. She literally turns into a kid here. Damn. Notice how Kazuya was eyeing the shoes during the start of the date. Reiji was setting this up from the start. Yes. Yep. Is this like Reiji saying now we are going to see Chizuru and Kazuya away like the POV with monologues? Yeah. We're gonna completely have a shift and we're gonna start seeing Kazuya from Chizuru's POV. It's the blink of 182 song. Does this also call back to the booze incident? When Chizuru carried him home? Theoretically. Yeah, Kazuya was a mess trying to keep her happy. Yeah, I can see that. I can see that. Let me pull it up. When Chizuru helped Kazuya home while he was down. Oh, what does she figure out here? You struck out on purpose, didn't you? What if just as Chizuru found something out here, Kazuya finds out what's going on? He starts understanding what's happening. What if Kazuya pieces it together by the end and like notices? So I've got to make sure I'm there for Ichinose. Damn. Next chapter is gonna, yeah, next chapter next Tuesday. Yep. It's also when the anime airs. The anime airs next Tuesday. So something. We're gonna finally get Scissor's POV. And God, I hope it makes everybody feel like an asshole. Try to remember the flashback because I didn't have a talent. That was when she didn't get the role after the play. Yeah. So let me tell you them off the top of my head. This is when her grandpa passed away in chapter 102, I think. This is when she didn't get the role she wanted. The chapter released. I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah. You can go read it. Wait, would it be cool if we get Kazuya cover art in front and then Chizuru in the back? Damn, that would be interesting. Oh, I've been ignoring it. I should read what this is. So for the opening page, let's go to the Japanese. Hey Crumpy, are you here still? Crumpy, are you here still? If you are, oh, never mind. Nope. I was gonna ask to translate this, but you did. I just didn't see it. Radiant sunlight, a glimming water, you're shining, summer is coming. Come on. That couldn't be any more subtle. We're going into summer. Summer is coming, you're shining, everything is great. Bro, it's so happening. Okay, let's read this. I rejected Kazuya as sinking Kazuya. Drifting alone to home. Obviously, the only thing that comes to his mind is Mizuhara. In the last sentence, the expression that comes to his mind is using the verb to float in Japanese. Yeah, they've used that consistently in the past few chapters. They keep using float or sink or drifting. And then the last page. What does the last page say? The date is continuing until we get home. The moonlight illuminates Chizuru, the princess's heart. Next time, absolutely not. Huh. What does absolutely not mean, Crumpy? What does that mean? What's the verb? Just like shit, we don't know what to take away from that. Shit, absolutely not. Absolutely not good enough. Absolutely not in love. It could mean anything. It could mean anything. Zere deme. You've probably heard that in anime. Yeah, it's very, very vague. It's extremely vague. But remember, before anyone freaks out, remember, this is from Chizuru's POV. So she could be talking about herself. Remember, when we get certain things like this, it's important to recognize that they're not always like clear or correct because these are characters' own biased views of themselves. So we don't know. I bet it's either absolutely not a rejection or she's absolutely not a burden to her. Oh yeah, there you go. She's absolutely not a burden. There we go. I like that one. She's absolutely not a burden. This because absolutely not seems definitely like Kazuya's words. Absolutely not definitely seems like Kazuya's words. You're absolutely not a burden. And what does Kazuya say here? When wait, Crumpy, really fast. I just realized. Right here. What does Kazuya say right here? What are Kazuya's words right here? Well, all you have is moonlight before no problem, kinda. I see. Yeah. So I think Kazuya telling her she's not a burden and she never was a burden, he never assumed she was a burden, could be it. Damn, bro. Absolutely not going to a love hotel together because something stops them from going all the way home. Yeah, that doesn't bother me. Yeah, I definitely think Kazuya will have to like nail it down. Yo, that doesn't bother me. You're not a burden. I never thought you were a burden. I think that's okay. Maybe a fight might not happen. Okay. Okay, I'm down to be wrong. I'm down to be wrong. You're absolutely not a burden. Maybe the fight could start. Okay, so here's my guess. There's no way in hell Kazuya will initiate the fight. There's no way in any Jiminy Christmas hell. If there is a fight, there's no way in hell Kazuya will initiate the fight. I don't think so. If there is a fight, Kazuya will not initiate it. Not in any way, shape, or form. Because he sees Chizuru, but she doesn't see herself. So what I could see happening is that possibly Chizuru might end up initiating the fight without maybe meaning to. And we might go from there. But Kazuya telling her you're absolutely not a burden is a huge step here. So I think that's our bet. That's our bet for now. Our bet for now is that Kazuya tells her you're absolutely not a burden. It's the same moon phase in the perfect girlfriend speech. Oh, it's always the same moon phase. It always is. That's the one thing I will always like one of the few criticisms I'll give this manga. Reishi literally never changes the fucking moon phase. Let's see. Yeah, no, like if you literally every single time it's always the same fucking moon. It's so funny. Literally always the same fucking moon. They're going to fight. They don't feel close enough to have a fight in the moment. They're not going to fight. We'll see. We'll see. I think they're at a perfect point to have a fight, but not like a fight where they fucking hate each other afterwards. It's just like a small fight. They're okay. It's possible that Kazuya is saying she's not a burden, or another with the imagination going to a love hotel, and he's not going. He's gonna tell himself absolutely not. Maybe both. Maybe both. Hey, Faye, I predict that Kazuya will inadvertently start the fight. Maybe it's going to flash back to when she... Well, oh, those are two different people. My bad. I think Kazuya could inadvertently start the fight. That does seem accurate to his character, because the one of the problems is how he looks and how he appears, being like so perfect and kind and loving. Whereas Chizuru doesn't view herself that way, whereas Kazuya definitely has ulterior motives, not in like the bad way, but like he definitely wants sex, you know, he definitely wants her physically. So, I don't know. Maybe it's going to a flashback to when she said she'd never be together, even if heaven or touch, like she said the physical boundary, but now wants it broken. Yeah. Yeah, that could be another thing. Wouldn't it be so funny if Kazuya whips out the projector again, if it shows the story, their story argument one? I don't get that one. Remember how in Mommy's POV, Kazuya was not awkward and hyperactive, and that was his normal? It would be cool if he's still awkward in her perspective because she sees his real self. Yeah, no, Chizuru sees he's awkward. She definitely sees that, but she thinks part of the reason he's awkward is because of her. Why do you think rental girlfriend is a quotation marks in the monologue? I said this. It feels like the rental girlfriend part being in quotations, as you see right here, might be because she's not that anymore, or that's not her role. Her role is an actress, but a rental girlfriend is not actually her role. Like that role is disappearing because that mirrors what she says right here. Where let me pull up the English. Why do I have them separate? I'll just put them together. There we go. In the English, look at what she says. It's very subtle and kind of important. She says she's a rental girlfriend, but then she says, I used to think. And then she lists all these stuff. Like she doesn't think that anymore. Like she's not a rental girlfriend. She's not acting it out anymore. She's living it. Because what does a rental girlfriend do? A rental girlfriend acts out a fairy tale. But now she is living in a fairy tale like he is the fairy tale. So she's not a rental girlfriend anymore. Let's keep reading. I have a feeling Kazuya will go ham verbal on Chizuru about her mixed messages. He'll go, I don't know. I don't know about that one. How much do you think Chizuru weighs? She's pretty light. She's pretty light. Girl's like only 5'4" or some shit. She's pretty short. So she's probably pretty light. Okay, interesting. Will Chizuru say something that will grab the spotlight in the next chapter? What do you think? Yes, totally. Totally. It's gonna build up slowly, and then we're gonna reach at the end of it, and it's gonna be like, what the fuck? She's been thinking that the whole time. And there's gonna be a lot of character study for Chizuru next chapter. I can totally feel it. I can totally feel Chizuru next chapter being like it'd be the next chapter's complete character study for Chizuru. 100%. I don't think the absolutely not can be something like you're absolutely not a burden, because the word used is more like absolutely cannot, must not. Ah, okay. So now we have a little bit more clarity. In that case, I think this is the closest thing we got. As a rental girlfriend, I'd always thought that it was wrong to fall in love with a client. Most of all, I never thought I could allow myself to be someone's girlfriend. I absolutely cannot be. I must not be. So this is where this line comes in. Right? Many people downplayed this line. I knew something was wrong with this line. I think this is what this line might be then. Yeah, so maybe so it is from Chizuru then. It is from Chizuru then. This is why I wanted the context of what the line possibly meant, because of how it's phrased and said. Usually words in Japanese are said in certain kinds of ways, so this explains that. So yeah, this probably comes directly back to this line. I absolutely cannot be with him because of something I did wrong. She shyly asks him, am I a burden? And yeah, so we already discussed that might not be it. We can't if you really sort things. Crumpy, is this really possible? I never thought of that possibility. I think they'll have a small fight, but they'll both realize they look dumb arguing while carrying her, so they start to laugh about it. Yeah. Yeah. No, literally, Chizuru said this. Literally, Chizuru said this. Like, they're going to have a fight, but then they'll laugh about it 2 seconds later. What if we switch POV next chapter and that's part of her inner monologue? Yes, it is. I already said next chapter is Chizuru. Chizuru still wants to do everything alone. She acts strong when right now she's weak. I'll elaborate. Chapter 150, Grandma says she's 99 lies and 100% truth. Yeah. She exactly says the same in Japanese. Wait, what? Wait, these are her exact lines in Japanese? Absolutely not is written in there? The absolutely not is written right here? Wait, Crumpy, seriously? Is the absolutely not written right here? She exactly says the same thing in Japanese right here. Oh my god. Yo, what? Damn, I fucking called it. Yeah. She can't be someone's girlfriend. She absolutely cannot be. She views herself as that unworthy. Damn, dude. It's like really late, and nobody would be there. The only one they would run into is possibly Minnie. The only person they could possibly run into at this point is Minnie. Which would be interesting. Minnie sets them on the right path. She like forces them to talk. That would be kind of funny, actually. Minnie, the problem causer, actually ends up letting them talk. That would be kind of interesting. No, Kibe doesn't make any sense. Why the fuck would Kibe be there? Minnie would make some sense because Minnie has been directly involved in the relationship. So I think Minnie forcing them to sit down and talk might be like the twist here. Why the callback to Paradise? What do you mean? Maybe someone else wrote something. Let me read what other people wrote. So let's see. For her truth, for her weakness, let her know herself as she is. Then there's a brutal symbolism. Kazuya offers to carry her. He goes ahead of her. He wants to be the support for that weakness she pretends she can overcome alone. Through thick and thin, Kazuya would be there because even though he's weak, she gives him strength. Is it me or does it... I can kind of see that. I feel like something's missing there, but I can kind of see it. Is it just me or does it seem like something big has to happen in the next 2 or 3 chapters and nothing will for other 50? Something big will happen. Something big will happen. Reishi's clearly setting up for, like, literally, come on. Literally, the opening page from this. Let me read to you what the opening page says from the cover page. Let me just read it for you one more fucking time. This opening page literally reads, radiant sunlights, a glimmering water, you're shining, summer is coming. Now, this is not only a nod to Hawaiians, because if you see the Japanese version, guess what the Japanese version says? If we see the Japanese version of this, it's very clear. It's advertisement for season 4. It's right there. This is for season 4. That's why it's specifically summer themed. Except canonically, in canon for the story, guess what it almost is? They are reaching the end of spring. They're about to enter summer. So canonically, Reishi's literally telling us both we're going to Hawaiians because season 4, but also we're literally about to enter the summertime for the characters, the season of joy. And when did the movie arc take place? Summer. So we're getting there. We're literally getting there. So yeah, there you go. Crumpy sent me something here. So in chapter 308, in chapter 380, or no, 379, chapter 379. Let me pull up the Japanese. In chapter 379, Chizuru's words right here, she says the exact same thing as the teaser. So the teaser is absolutely not. Zere dame. And right here in Japanese, it is identical. So right here, this, the same exact thing. So yes, this line was important. This line was important. I fucking said this line was important and nobody fucking believed me. I literally said this line is super important and nobody fucking believed me. Okay, there's a lot of text for some reason. Kazuya won't accuse Chizuru at all. She'll probably get angry at him when he tries to take full responsibility for the rejection. Trying to make it his fault. Yeah, that's what they do best. And in so doing, guess what happens? They get into a fight because Kazuya's being super selfless. When Chizuru clearly blames herself and she knows she's at fault. Being optimistic a sec, it could be Kazuya pulling off Luffy and saying he refuses her refusal, but I doubt it. Kazuya does have elements of Luffy, so it's quite possible. So, like, what if they run into all the thin Mami, Ruka, Minnie, and Sumi creating the world hardest ultimatum telling 4 people no? That makes no sense. That makes no... Why would they all be together? That makes no sense. That's the great dichotomy between the two. Chizuru doesn't want to bother him, but Kazuya insists because he can't leave her there alone. Yeah. He's going to protect Chizuru like he promised Sayuri, Mizuhara, and himself. He's yelling at her, "You're not alone. Stop pretending you are." But he doesn't know that yet. But we'll see. We'll see. I think the absolutely not. So let's be real. Anime rare. So I'm gonna remove this and like mute you for a little bit because you can't come in here and talk shit. Yeah. Don't come in here and talk shit. I like this series and you've been warned. Danny, nothing will happen. That's fair. That's not a bannable offense. If you feel that's way, that's fine. The death of her grandfather, how she could not fulfill the dream, how she tells herself she has no talent when she fails, but in harsh reality, she becomes a fairy tale when she's with him. She feels like a princess. The moon of growth, the support of her weakness, and the fairy tale, the fiction, the lie that becomes the real beautiful. Yeah, she in the story, she feels like a princess. Nagomi actively calls her a princess. But she feels unworthy to be the princess because she isn't like a princess. Everything about her is not princess-like except for her appearance. So she doesn't feel worthy to be the princess in the story. That's why I think they intentionally say princess. But again, like I said with chapter 379, she literally says the line like, most of all, I never thought I could allow myself to be someone's girlfriend. She uses zere dame as in like, I absolutely not. Like, I could never be that. Which reflects her own like lack of worth. Dude, I'm just reading the chapter and dude, he gave her a piggyback ride to home. I'm elated, dude. Oh, okay, good. Good. Like it's so funny. People were like expecting Kazuya to do something evil. Please explain again. Explain chapter 382. Chapter 382. Okay, what would you like me to explain? Okay, let's start from the top. Sure, let's start from the top. We start from Kazuya looking down. We said so. This reads. We read that the Japanese version of this has text, and the text reads: "Radiant sunlights, a glimming water, your shining summer is coming." So that's what that says. It's an advertisement for season 4, but also foreshadowing the literal summer of the story because we're actually about to enter summer in the actual story. Then we get here. Kazuya is walking, and there's some text here that reads. A rejected Kazuya, a sinking Kazuya, drifting alone home. Obviously the only thing comes to his mind is Mizuhara. In the last sentence, the expression that comes to his mind is using the verb to float in Japanese. Okay, so what's the first thing that happens to Kazuya? He runs into a pole. We expected him to run into Chizuru because that's how the last chapter showed it. He runs into a pole first. And what happens? Kazuya rolls around, he's pissed, and he gets mad and starts yelling at a pole. And he says, "I'm so stupid for lashing out at a pole. I'm not lashing out at her. I'm lashing out at this pole." So it's already foreshadowing a fight. It's already foreshadowing a fight between the two. Kazuya starts asking questions. It's just what's one misfortune after another. Sorry, I kind of forgot to ask for more details. He sinks into shadows. Look at his realist self here. He wants to know more. But maybe she was just sugarcoating it. He's assuming. Then he just says, I just can't think straight right now. He wants answers. He can't think straight. He runs into Chizuru. He sees her. It's awkward. She keeps looking away. Chizuru is clearly hiding something here. She can't look at him directly. She's not allowed to look at him directly because Chizuru views herself as unworthy. So what does Chizuru do? She looks away. I caused him problems. I hurt him. She never faces him directly. He keeps looking at her. All of the dialogue is in Kazuya's head. This is so awkward. She just got through rejecting me. She might avoid the train exactly for that reason. Even if I told her that it was fate, it probably wouldn't work well. Okay. We get here. Kazuya tries to leave, and as he's leaving, he notices something's up with Chizuru's foot. So he talks to her like a normal fucking person. They go to a park, and he sees that her foot is hurt. What? Hey, what is he doing? Pay attention to what he's doing. He's asking questions. When did you get that? Why didn't you say anything? How does the chapter start? Kazuya's asking questions. We're hearing what he says. I want more details. She was sugarcoating it. What does he say here? I just can't think straight right now. So she says, I've been hurt from near the beginning. So this entire date, this whole time, from chapter 352 up until this point, Chizuru has had a blister on her foot. Not just one foot, both feet. So she's been hurt the entire date and said nothing. She kept it to herself and she just powered through alone. Think about that. Chizuru, and listen to what she says. Let's read what she says. Why did she do this? Why did Chizuru do this? Is it your right foot only? Again, he's asking questions. My left foot too. It's not as bad as my right though. A blister on both feet. This looks like it really hurts. I can't believe she put up with that. Did she really go on the date while dealing with this? Why didn't you say anything? Because it's not right. Responsibility. You put so much work into everything, it wouldn't be fair to ruin it because of me. I would have ruined the date if I mentioned that I was hurt. Does that seem right to you? Does that seem like how a relationship should be? Should you really put someone else first that much? Chizuru should not... this is how little she views herself. That she views herself as unworthy of him. Kazuya reacts. Naturally, dude, your work is so worth it, I will never tell you that I was hurt so that way you feel like your work was worth it. I see. She also got her new shoes now. I see she also got new shoes. So she's never worn shoes like these before. She specifically got them for this date, just like Kazuya did. Kazuya also got new shoes. And he puts her first because of this. She prepared for everything and dealt with the pain because she didn't want to ruin the mood. I didn't notice at all. Just like in the date, we didn't pay attention to what was going on with Chizuru, we didn't notice here. That's how important this date was to her. Just knowing that makes me happy. That Chizuru did care. That this date did matter to her. So if this date was so important, why did we end up here? That is the question that you should be asking, but do not come to a conclusion because you are wrong. That is what he's saying. Do not come to a conclusion as to why we ended up here because you are wrong. She says I'm fine and tries to go alone. He doesn't let her. He refuses to let her go alone. No, it's fine. There's still a long way to go. I can't stand seeing you like this. This line should be familiar to you. If you go back to the cheer up date, Kazuya says this too. When Chizuru was during the date and she wouldn't cry about her grandma dying, same thing. Same thing. She's trying to go at it alone. Now look at this spread. Look at this image. And look at this one. What does Kazuya say here in his head? Just knowing that makes me so happy. Just knowing that makes me so happy. And then what does she say in her talk here? She feels like when she's with him, she's in a fairy tale. But she feels unworthy of this fairy tale. So what do we see? Chizuru humps over One foot lifted and she can only walk on one. She leans on him. Look at the way she leans on him. She hugs him from the back. Kazuya notices the boobs, but he's like, nope, gotta keep myself under control. She says, I might be heavy. He says, no, not at all. You're not a problem. I'm just gonna stand, okay? Yeah. He lifts. We focus on the shoes that represent Kazuya's commitment, because if he takes care of these shoes, they'll last a lifetime. She starts walking. My name is Chizuru Ichinose. I'm an actress and a rental girlfriend. She says this specifically because that might not be her anymore. I used to think that books and movies are nothing but fiction, something we saw when she was a kid, and that the real world was full of harsh realities, that the world just kind of sucked. Impossible dreams, unrewarded efforts, and unrequited feelings. She feels like her feelings might not have been requited at the start of the story. She shows two things here, but one she doesn't show. Kazuya requited her feelings. Except, she doesn't feel like she deserves them. Still, even now, I remember that walk home. It sounds like she's talking from the future, but it's like a mix of the future and the present. Whenever I was with him, it felt like I was inside a story. Like I'm living a fairy tale, even though the reality is cruel. Okay, that's what happened here. Hope that made some things clear. Subfate, if you're just checking in after the reading chapter, Bo, I didn't expect that at all. I think the next chapter is going to be focused on Chizuru's thoughts. We will see what happens next week. Yes, next week is definitely Chizuru's thoughts. Low-key expect them to fight, not gonna lie, but I think this is good as well. I mean, we're gonna get some Chizuru's inner monologues. I think next chapter will be the start of the fight. I think the next chapter will be the start of the fight. I genuinely think they're still going to fight. I genuinely think they're still going to fight. But I just don't think it's going to be how we expect. Yo, and look at how she describes the real world with phrases like harsh reality, unrequited feelings, unrewarded efforts. And then the next panel is her implying the moment isn't like any of that. Yeah. Yeah, but there's a more to this. She says that she used to believe that the world is harsh and cruel and uncaring, but then she says this isn't that. So it's like her perspective of the world has changed when she's around Kazuya. And this is stuff we see in the day. Remember when they go to the beach? What did Chizuru say when they first go to the beach in chapter... Okay, what the hell? When they first go to the beach in chapter 377, do you remember what Chizuru says? What is the first thing Chizuru says when they get there? Before they actually reach the pier? We see Minnie first, yeah. What does Chizuru say about the Statue of Liberty that they see there? I might have just fooled myself into thinking I've seen all of this before. Her perspective is changing. Her view on life is changing. Perspective and illusions is a huge theme here. So Chizuru having a different perspective than she did initially is kind of important. Kazuya literally changed her world and her perception of it. I'm curious as to if this has happened before the rental date and she powered through it the same. Probably. That wouldn't be shocking. Does she use the same? Absolutely not. At the end of chapter 231 when she kisses her own leg. No. I don't think so. No. The internal monologue of Chizuru's son at the end brought me to tears. Yeah. Definitely made me emotional too. How little she views herself or how highly she views him. Both. My boy Kazuya just take her to Love Hotel and I'll treat you. Oh my God. She's holding back her heart too. She keeps her feelings locked away. She's guiding her heart as well. I wonder if Kazuya could feel her heart beating in the next chapter. He might. Yeah, he is wearing a jacket, but he might. Just me. Is it just me or is she drawn smaller in the final pages? I really think about that trip down memory lane now. Yeah, I mean, she's supposed to kind of look like a kid. That's the idea. You're really seeing how small Chizuru is. Chizuru is very small. So you're kind of seeing how small she is. She feels like a kid intentionally. The end of the chapter reminds me of 214 where it leads to Mommy's backstory. Could be. Just me. Okay. Although Kazuya excelled, the bitterness of Chizuru's rejection still persists. I hope Rishi knows how to justify that rejection. He's literally delving into it. So in the end of no fight, no kiss, no sex. I hope your theory to be right though. I think it'll happen. just not immediately. I think it will happen, just not immediately. We need a little bit. We need a little bit of time, right? We need just a little bit of time. Take care to look at page 17 where her hand is over his heart. Over her heart? Oh, you mean like this? You referring to this? Is that what you mean? I kind of see it. Yeah, I kind of see it. He trips and the condom falls. The lucky charm, the condom. Will you be satisfied at the end of the day if they just hugged and sorted out this poorly without sex? I don't think that'll happen. I don't think so. I'd be surprised, but I don't think so. I really think like the idea is that they're gonna sort it out and it's gonna lead to sex because sex kept getting foreshadowed. Dude, he's been foreshadowing sex since like chapter 200 and who are we kidding? Chapter 300, 230 something, 232. He's been foreshadowing it for over 100 chapters. Like when Chizuru goes to his house in chapter 240, all Kazuya could think about was sex. Most of the arc, Kazuya is like controlling his lust. Chizuru is also controlling her lust. Like the sex is a huge thing here. It's not just like a small thing. It's literally a core part of the relationship. I literally think it needs to end with sex. I don't know. No. 3 more years? Nah. Honestly, chapter wasn't too bad, not gonna lie. It's a great chapter. I really liked it. They both have walking sticks going along line towards each other, page 6 through 7. Oh, yeah. I guess they technically they have the umbrellas for support, but now they're supporting each other. I guess that's one way to look at it. That's a cool one. Kazuya being a virgin is too much of a plot point to not be resolved. Holy shit, Kazuya said he wanted to hold her earlier in the day. Oh yeah, now he gets to. There's no break. No, there's no break. I'll check. We can go to Reddit and see. There should not be any breaks. Let's see how chill Reddit is. Let's see how chill Reddit is. Sorry for the delay. The person making the Kobari links wasn't available and it wasn't made aware beforehand. Oh, yeah, there's no delay. There's no break. In chapter 231, she uses dame just like in chapter 379, I think, where she adds absolutely and the one in the next time. Oh, really? So you're saying in chapter 231, let's find it. So that's the end of this arc. Wow. That's actually kind of cool. That it comes full circle like that. The end of the Paradise arc. This. So wait, she says Crumpy, she says this. So this line, she uses the absolutely not as well. That she can't, she absolutely is not allowed to. She says it here too. Because if she does, that's crazy. Also the same moon. Yeah, y'all always talk about the moon. Literally, the moon is illuminating her. Oh my god. And the opening song for the anime is what is it? Umitsuki. Ocean Moon. My god. She doesn't say absolutely here, but the can't is the same. I see. So she says dame, like can't. Absolutely. The not. The not is the same. That's cool. That's cool. While you are right, I feel like Chizuru would rather be in a relationship to have sex. She doesn't want to hurt Ruka. She feels guilty about Ruka. But she feels bad for feeling the way that she does. That's the idea. I want to start raining cats and dogs before they get home, but the sky looks clear. This is going to end at chapter 400, isn't it? Doubt it. Chapter 400 might have like a big resolution, yeah, but it's not going to end. Do you already talk about the relation of Chizuru's monologues to the first chapter? What about the first chapter? What do you mean? What about the first chapter? Are you talking about like this? Like, what about the first chapter? What are you referring to? Oh, I won't keep using her. Pretend girlfriends. I'm done with all that. Now I'm ready. Oh, and they run into each other just like the star. Oh, that's cool. Oh, that's cool. And they run into each other again. That's kind of cool, actually. Huh. Okay. And then their relationship starts for real after that point. Oh, okay. Right side above the picture where her hand is, Johan on the heart. I guess it's on his heart. Um, Rishi doesn't really care about meeting volume chapter milestones. He talks about it in the 7th anniversary interview. He like does and he doesn't. It's a bit of both. I'm telling you, haters would be jealous of us when they would realize that they missed such a great story when it was unfolding. I think it was the same Reddit post you were on. It's one of the top comments. Oh. Chapter 1 featured Kazuya's inner monologues as he introduces himself, establishing the story's point of view from his narration. Chapter 82, however, opens with an introductory inner monologue from Chizuru, something we haven't seen in chapter we haven't seen in chapter 381. If my assumption is correct, Chizuru's interlock signals a shift in the narrative POV from Kazuya to Chizuru. As far as I recall, Chizuru rarely, if ever, gets inner monologues. When she does, it's usually only when Kazuya isn't around to narrate her perspective. This could mean that the upcoming volume will either be explore a flashback from Chizuru's point of view, or hint at an impending separation arc where Kazuya isn't pretended to tell the story, forcing the narrative to follow Chizuru instead. There's a lot of assumptions happening here. And the fact that he's limiting himself to two is kind of a bad thing. You should never limit yourself to two kinds of choices when discussing these kinds of elements. Because, for instance, us delving into Chizuru's POV could actually completely shift the perspective, the perspective of the story to help us understand why she acted the way she did in the date, rather than shifting the entire perspective of the story as a whole. It could be one chapter, it could be multiple chapters, but it's not a separation arc. I don't think so. I don't. It doesn't. It feels weird to kind of go into a separation arc at this point. I could understand the intent. But it just feels weird to just do that right now. Like there's a possibility we might go into a separation arc. There is a very real possibility. But considering the cohabitation saga was in itself kind of a separation arc, I don't know. I also don't think he would like spend an entire volume on that. Not in this way. That would be, I don't know. This feels a little doomy. This feels a little too doomy. I don't know about this one. I think while we get Chizuru's POV, so let's see the comparison he makes here. My name is Kazuya Kinoshita. I'm 20-year-old college student majoring in business major. My name is Chizuru Yanoshi. I'm an actress or rental girlfriend. But what does Kazuya say after this? What does Kazuya say after this? Kazuya says after this, I have a girlfriend. By the end of this, what if Chizuru says, I have a boyfriend? Boom. Boom. And then we get to the cover page after that. I have a girlfriend. We see Chizuru first. But then he has a breakup with mommy. But that is a good comparison. I will give them credit where credit is due. That is a good catch. That this is similar. God, hear you. The change now that Chizuru is the MC could be great and great opportunity for her redemption arc. Maybe the separation theory bears fruit. I kind of hope not. I can see it because there was a small separation in Maison Ikoku. After they lived together for a little bit, but it was kind of presented more as a joke. Fate brings people together. Gee, thanks. I don't know. A separation could happen. I can see it. But I kind of hope not. I personally kind of hope not, considering they've separated for a very long time. They've separated for a very long time already. So I really hope this doesn't end with a separation again. I don't like that. I kind of don't like that idea that it'll end with a separation again. And I think Minnie might be the bridge. Yeah, I think Reiji knows. Reiji knows separations kind of suck at this point. And people don't want any more separation, especially considering they've already had a separation, and they clearly don't want to separate. Literally, it's them walking together. They don't want to separate. So I do agree. We'll get Chizuru's POV. I completely agree with that. This seems like a complete shift from the narrative. However, it feels like a singular chapter focused POV, where it could really shift the narrative and make you realize how little we understood Chizuru. Zame Dame is the Japanese for the teaser. Dame means prohibition often. She forbids herself from love. In chapter 21, he'll probably forbid her from thinking of herself as a burden in the coming chapters. Kazuya forbids her from thinking of herself as a burden. Yeah, I could see that. There we go. There we go. We rewrote it a little bit. Like the first chapter, what if Chizuru says, I like someone else in her monologue? It's just like mommy. No. No. Do you think Reiji's gonna show us the reason Chizuru dumped Kazuya? Well, she didn't dump him. She just rejected, but but think of it like this. Think of it like this. It's not that she likes someone else, but think of it like this. If the monologues mirror each other, if these monologues mirror each other, she likes the person just like Kazuya liked Mommy, and Mommy rejected him. So if Chizuru is in Kazuya's position here, she's the one who got rejected. Think of it like that. Not I like someone else, that it's clear he doesn't feel the same way he does about her that she does about him. She's getting rejected. Just like Kazuya got rejected at the start, this is Chizuru getting rejected here. She's rewriting the date. This is her rewriting the date. So I think people are kind of missing the point. You're seeing the right evidence. You're getting the wrong conclusion, which is very common. People do this a lot. I do this sometimes, right? It's pointing out the importance of the full circle palette, not implying the entire of the new arc. Yeah, no, it's flipping the script, not setting up an entirely new arc. Because I've said this before, it feels like Reiji's trying to flip the script on us. And this is what this arc is for. It's to flip the script and to make us realize how much of an assholes we've been. Because people are being assholes, and Reiji kind of predicted this. I like the full color page. It should probably remind you of Paradise because that's the intention. I laughed quite hard at Kazuya running into a pole. He's certainly not paying attention to anything, and he vents his frustration at the pole. It was quite funny. It was clear that Kazuya would help Chizuru get home if he noticed the blister. His anger is forgotten for now. She would walk around the whole day with hurting feet because she didn't want to ruin the mood. That makes it clear that the date was just as important to her as it was to him. Yes, right. People kept saying that's not true. It is. And at the end, we get some rare insight into Chizuru's thoughts for once. I would say that her thoughts about feeling like being inside a story already kind of hinted towards her impression of Kazuya as her personal hero. She rejected him and still only cares for her. She rejected him and he still only cares for her well-being. She has been taken care of, as she already told the masseuse. Kazuya's love for her seems completely unconditional. I'm curious of the shift of her POV at the end of the teaser. If we're going to have some sort of shift towards Chizuru's POV for some type of flashback to the high points of the series, but from her perspective, leading to a serious conversation that they need to have, kind of feels like we're building to an actual climax of this arc where it ends. Not sure if any of the... Yeah, well, it's very clear we're building to some sort of climax. Yeah, that's a big paradigm shift in the narrative, especially since it's retrospective. We had Kazuya do the same exact thing at the end of the prior chapter, chapter 381. Although it was the first time we've seen Reiji make a Kazuya retrospective comment, it is noteworthy too that we had been main characters to the rapid succession. Minnie watching them enter the home like that. Oh yeah, Chizuru sharing a Buster would totally ruin the evening. Not everyone else. Go Kazuya, realizing Chizuru was her and deciding to carry her on his back. The romantic gesture alone was enough to trigger her future narration, which she actually recalls. Yeah. See, that's what I mean, is like when I wrote that thing on Twitter, half of it was right, half of it was wrong. The prediction part, completely wrong. It could be true later. We'll see. The part of it that is true is that Kazuya is not us. Kazuya is not us. He knows better. No, we're not. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Ugh, AI garbage. Oh, there's this person. This is the one I was looking for. Still holding on hope, Kazuya will call out Chizuru. I like Kazuya acknowledging he's not thinking straight. He's trying to see things objectively, but it's realistically something that will take time. As for Chizuru, the more she does, the lesser her actions make sense, which I think entirely on purpose and in character. She didn't want to ruin the date, but the reason she came up with her rejecting Kazuya were things she knew beforehand and very weak. She has always been a huge coward and idiot in regards to her feelings, so it makes sense. Kazuya is still a white knighting for Chizuru is something I don't like at all, but it's in character, and he himself knows he's not in a state where he can think straight as is. Unfortunately, completely in character is one of his major flaws. How is it a flaw that he's taking care of her when she's hurt, even though she rejected him? I don't like this. I don't agree with this. Oh, Kazuya is being a total gentleman, and I would do the fucking same. In this scenario, I would do the fucking same. I don't care. If she's hurt, I'll help her out. I don't give a shit. Like, I'm getting nothing out of it, and that's perfectly fine. Like, it's literally just altruistic. Like, he cares for her, he supports her, he wants to be there for her. He sees how much it's not completely altruistic. That's not fair. He's doing this because he cares for her. Future Chizuru's narration is something I wouldn't have never expected. At least it's implied that she knows she was a stupid idiot for rejecting Kazuya, which is good. The chapter was kind of weird for me. Chizuru and Kazuya were too calm and about everything, but at the same time, since they have been through similar things many times already, it made sense. It's weird. I don't know if I like it or not, but it makes complete sense. Really curious about how the story will go now. Okay. It could be seen as a flaw because of his kindness, because people like Chizuru can take advantage of you. But okay, I'm putting you on timeout, dude. Fuck out of here. And we're removing that again. Chizuru is depending on the victim. Get the fuck out of here. People on Reddit still calling Kazuya a sim. Shake my head. Okay, I remember Mommy called Kazuya during the date, which about that. Is she trying to mess things up again? No, Mommy just wants to be with Kazuya, but she's not thinking things through. Hey, Johan, I remember hating on the series, but you single-handedly convinced me to objectively give it a shot. Thanks for streaming, good sir. You're welcome. That's really nice. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Actually means a lot to hear that. I've said it before. I'm saying it again. I've never experienced any romance like Rag. It has set a bar for me. Another theory I have how Kazuya describes Chizuru in the idea girlfriend speech. She wants the exact same from Kazuya. Wait, what? I have is how Kazuya describes Chizuru in the ideal girlfriend speech. He wants... No. The ideal girlfriend speech is kind of the fucking problem. A separation will never make sense. A big part of Sayuri's character was her insight that our main couple complete each other and their fully realized themselves can only be brought about by the other. Yes. That's the idea. The date is ending with that exact concept that they're carrying each other. High Cozy is just pretty good if you watch it with a story rather than the harem and ecchi series. I watched recently, so I think about naughty thoughts. You can enjoy it with full action scenes. So, how did we talk about High School DxD? How did we get there? I don't think the white knighting part, Kazuya is a gentleman regardless of his situation. He puts others above himself. Yeah, like, but this isn't simply white knighting. Like, this is Kazuya's care and love for her. Like, a part of it looks like white knighting. But what starts this? It makes him happy. The happiness he feels that she cared about this date as much as he does pushes him to do this. She gave him strength. It wasn't just white knighting. He didn't just do it because she's because like he saw her hurt. He also did it because she is who she is. And she feels the same way, but you don't hear her thoughts. They literally parallel each other. Reiji literally has paralleling panels, but he doesn't make them exactly alike. So you recognize what she's also feeling. Like, it's very strange to me that, like, no matter what Chizuru does, people always view her as a bad person. Like, that person earlier was saying how she's playing victim. She's not playing victim. She literally didn't show him. Kazuya would have never seen this. He noticed, and he got it out of her. Kazuya literally would not have noticed. And she wanted to be sincere and not lie about it. She's been sincere this entire time. Chizuru has been very sincere this entire time. She's been very honest and clear with Kazuya. I don't understand people's idea that she's not being sincere. She's being very sincere. She's being very honest and open about everything. If Chizuru's false perception of Kazuya's love, she doesn't think she loves him the way he loves her when she does. An effort, how much Kazuya is enjoyable, cheer update. I thought you said if. It's Chizuru's false perception of Kazuya. Yeah, like how he looks to her. I just know that the poll actually replies to Kazuya. Lol. No, it fucking doesn't. I've always been here. Oh yeah, okay, it does. It does. It kind of replies to him. She does all this for Ruka, but Kazuya doesn't understand now. She knows she should turn him into them. What the fuck are you talking about? This isn't a harem. This is Kazuya and Chizuru's love story. The fuck are you talking about? She doesn't do this all for Ruka. Didn't do all this for Ruka. What the fuck are you talking about? What? I'm gonna go see some of the Japanese fans and what they think. Damn. So Reiji said this on Twitter about the Shiunji family. Let me pull it up, and people are like, "What the fuck?" Once again, thank you for watching the anime Shunji Family. The original story is still in progress, but we will bring it to an end where you will definitely not regret it, regret reading it. So please continue to support these brothers and sisters. I think that's so funny. People are like, "No, don't lead us on, bro." That's so funny. Yeah, we'll have to watch the Shunji Family too. Ooh, let's save this good quality one. Okay. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. I got a clean one, baby. I got me a clean one. Huh, I just noticed. I just realized Chizuru has the rental braid on. Wow, it was literally foreshadowed we would talk about the rental braid at the end of this. That's so interesting. How did the Shiunji family end? What is the last episode like? There will also be no season 2 announcement which fueled the response. Are you sure? Nothing told me there wasn't going to be a season 2. It feels like there's not going to be one with the way he phrased it, which isn't surprising. But it's also kind of surprising. And then the Mulders will just tell us Rent a Girlfriend is getting a season 4 while she usually only has one. Shit's so funny, dude. But yeah, I did also notice Chizuru's wearing the Rental Girlfriend braid, and in the chapter, it's kind of the same. You know the part of the chapter where she says Rental Girlfriend with a question mark? I think I saw another word in the quotation, JP. Can you show me the page? Whoa, what? Ayo, what? What do you mean? Well, now you just got me curious, but oh my god, 341 replies. That's crazy. Can you see it? It's right here. What did you notice? Kazuya getting dirty thoughts and him saying absolutely not. Dude, that would just reinforce my thoughts. Ichino says Chizuru and her girlfriend lie. What? Wait. This word is lie next to girlfriend? That she's a rental girlfriend is a lie? Is that what that's saying? What? That's interesting. Wait. No. Lol. What? Her surname. I thought the books and movies were lies. So what's the extra word you're looking for? I'm a little confused. Ah, patience is a virtue, as they say. Patience is a virtue. I'm going to go back to Twitter really quick while you figure it out, buddy. Whoa. Now the anime's over, I'm still not at peace. Thank you again. Mijime Sensei has already drawn the names of the children of the Shunji family far in advance. The children's names have already been drawn by Mijime Sensei in a long time. Since starting as an assistant in the Shiyunji's drawing corporation, I'll read it here. So this is the other Reiji that also works on the Shiyunji family. Oh, what the hell? This isn't translated by Google anymore? It's translated by... Oh, God. Whatever. The anime has ended and my heart still hasn't settled down, but thank you once again. The name of the Shiyunji family children has already been drawn by Mr. Mijime quite far ahead. It's going to get even more interesting, so I'd be thrilled if you read it until the very end. Since starting as an assistant for the Shiyunji family's artwork corporation and for the Kanojo Okarishimasu, I've spent every day looking at Mijime-sensei's art. From my perspective, Mr. Miyajime has the ultimate hand for drawing the cutest girls and can craft stories that stir people's hearts. He's truly an incredible manga artist, I believe. In every single panel, you can feel the expressions, emotions, and atmosphere. In large double-page spreads, the backgrounds convey the excitement or the tension of the moment, almost like you can sense the movement of the cameras as if watching a movie. That's literally how I feel. Each character's humanity, struggles, anxieties, love, conflicts, evil, and deep sense of loss, all these emotions intertwine, which is exactly why reading the manga evokes such profound joy, anger, sorrow, and happiness, don't you think? I believe that both Kanojo Okarishimasu and the Shunji family are manga that only Mr. Miyajime could draw. The anime for the Shunji family children has reached its final episode, but I earnestly hope that everyone will see this work through to the end. This is his fucking assistant. Think about that. This is how his assistant talks about him, bro. This is how the person who works with him talks about it, bro. And people call this dude a madman. Unreal. Like, just understand, this dude doesn't have to say this. He gets nothing out of this. Like, he's not even getting views out of this. He doesn't have to say this. There's nothing to say here. Like, this dude is not saying this to get people's attention. He only has like what, 3,000 followers. Like, he's not saying any of this to get Reiji to get attention or anything. He's saying this because he genuinely means it. Okay. Uh, Crumpy. In English, it was translated as fiction, but it wasn't in quotation marks. Here's the word you here. The word used is lie, and it's in quotation. Um, what is crump? I think the quotation in lies is emphasis the fiction nature of history told in books or movies. Crumpy is right. The word in quotation in the panel beneath the one with the rental girlfriend is lie, but it is spelled fiction in the Japanese as well as the official translation. Yeah, but lie and fiction. That's an interesting pairing. Eddie Man, Subfade. I believe the Kazuya won't carry Chizuru far. He will take a break somewhere before the house, and some events will happen before, though I could be wrong. I think they'll talk as they're walking. But I think I think we'll also get a lot of Chizuru's POV. From what I know, they only adapted half the volumes for Shiyunji Family Children. They got to volume 3 out of 6, so they have enough for another season, but wouldn't have enough for anything else. Yeah, but nothing was immediately announced, so we don't know. Will you watch season 4 or read the new chapter only? I'll do both. I'll do both. Next week I'll watch both season 4 and we'll read the chapter. So that's the plan for next week. This is Korra, and what he's saying is fucking hilarious. It's Jesus fucking Christ. Draw it out, Kazuya. Chizuru's true feelings. Don't give up. Be brave. You're the coolest guy in the world. I love it. I bet that's how she feels about him. Chizuru fans just now realizing that a large part of the fans are misogynistic no matter no matter what the character does because they did one questionable thing. Mommy fans, first time. That's great. That's great. Have we gotten Chizuru's internal narrative when she's around Kazi before? God, how far has my hyperfixation fallen when I can't even remember something like that? No, this is the first we get Chizuru's narrative. Chizuru is far more love-struck than we expected to be. Chizuru Kazuya is the one that gave me hope, dream, and everything. All right, then I'm so ready for the piggyback ride home to be what gets them together. We're so far down the vulnerable opening a path that we get Chizuru's internal dialogue. Something good's gonna happen. Call it copium, hopium, but the vulnerability themes are writing themselves. The only other chapter we get Chizuru's monologues is way back in chapter 100. The chapter about her past. Let's see what she says in chapter 100. I am curious myself, actually. Does she say, I'm Chizuru Ichinose? How does she say it? Guys are idiots. Nope, she does not start with that. Let's see chapter 99 then. At this time, there are 65. Yep. She's never introduced herself as Chizuru Ichinose. Yeah, she's never introduced herself like Kazuya has. From Chizuru's inner thoughts, it really seems like there's some kind of misunderstanding between her and Kazuya. I mean, while he's giving her a piggyback ride, she's thinking she feels like in a story, like something dreamy and wonderful is happening. It's hard to believe she'd be feeling that way and still planning to turn down his confession. Yep. Uh-huh. 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 This is a Japanese fan saying this. To be honest, I always believe that most Chizuru fans are not viewing Chizuru the way I view her. I don't think many fans are able to understand Chizuru as a character that is written to be as close to real human that you need to use normal people logic to understand her. I would rather guess Chizuru is having issues about Kazuya's view Ichinose and Mizuhara. I don't know. I think it's a misunderstanding. Readers became fans of Chizuru because of her design, not her character. Please God, Kami Buddha, let's see her POV. Okay. This July is going to be fire. You should also cover more anime than Rent a Girlfriend. Only you can cover Rent a Girlfriend when new chapters come. No, I don't really care for that. I'm sorry. I understand. I understand, and I do know it would get me more views, but I kind of don't care for that. I'm sorry. Not yet, at least. Maybe sometime in the future. I just don't. I don't know. I just don't care about that, and I don't know why. I'm not that interested in that. I feel like I would not have the same passion I do about this story as I do those other stories. A huge part of the reason I do this for Rent a Girlfriend is because I'm very passionate about it. And I know I'm not nearly as passionate as other stories. There are other ones that I would talk about, like How Do We Relationship or Maison Ikoku, but those aren't mainstream. So I don't know. Chizuru's grandpa and grandma saying we'll find someone that sees your good qualities is going to be key, as well as Kazuya telling Chizuru about private discussions with her grandma. The overflowing of feelings that Kazuya experiences while carrying such precious creatures on his back. Huh. Possible dreams. Kazuya makes them come true. Unrewarded efforts. Kazuya finds a way to make her labor bear effort. Unrequited feelings. Well. I do wonder what'll happen next. I like that. Fate is not a view whore. Oh, is that what that was? Whore? Nah. Mizuno Koku is far from mainstream. Is what? Mizuno Koku is not mainstream. It's people who have really know romance manga know Maison Koku, but it's not mainstream. I hope she will feel resemblance with her grandpa and Kazuya. She already does. She already sees, but her grandpa looked very altruistic to her. So she sees a lot of his altruism in Kazuya, but it's not that simple. He doesn't just do it just because someone's in need. He does it because it's specifically her. Best part of the day, he does do things for some people in need, but for Chizuru it's a little different. The best part of the day is he wanted to hug her, but didn't expect her hugging him from the back. Interesting twist of events. Yeah. Isn't that literally the twist? Isn't that literally the fucking twist? That we're getting what we want, but not the way we expected to get it. Just as here, she's getting what she wants, but not the way she expected to get it. Not the way she hoped to get it. Like she's getting to hug him like she had planned to throughout the day, but not the way she had hoped to. Damn, that's actually super fucking sad. Like she had, she wanted to hug him and be with him throughout this day, but she couldn't do it the way she wanted to. Yeah, I guess season 2 might not happen after all. That's kind of sad. Yeah, I'm definitely feeling a lot more confident in my theory now. I will say that. My theory definitely feels a lot more confident. Now I just want to sit down and actually write it all out and like actually go through my proper theory. There are people on Reddit who are anticipating Minnie's reaction to Kazuya's text response to her, and she confronts Chizuru. Fans that think Kazuya should end up with Minnie, that Kazuya deserves better. They're not seeing. I don't know how to even talk about this anymore, you know? Like, because we're just looping at this point. They're just projecting what they want onto Kazuya, not what he actually wants. They're in trying so hard to be like, Chizuru is terrible for you. Chizuru is this, Chizuru is that. They're choosing not to see Chizuru's character and what Kazuya loves about her, just because of the one questionable thing she did at the end of this, or some of the questionable choices she made in Hawaiians that people did not understand. So all they see is this terrible person, and they could never truly understand. And they keep projecting onto Kazuya what he should do, not what he wants to do. Like they're never like, what does Kazuya want to do? Because they think what he's doing is wrong. So they can never understand Kazuya. I'm worried about season 5 of Rent a Girlfriend, considering season 4 is premiering with other series that have better mainstream reputation. However, people may hate which the news shows that'll help viewership. I think they'll still watch it because there are still people like Gigok who will never shut up about it. And there are people who will always try to give it attention for negative reasons, and in so doing, they'll end up watching it. The fact that it has 4 seasons, after like the anime's quality drops so significantly, in of itself, reflects the fact that it will keep getting more, especially considering where season 4 ends. There's no way they're like, look, if they wanted to stop at the movie arc, they could have, but then they showed mommy. So then it's like, okay, there's no way you're stopping. But then they adapt to the Hawaiians arc. And if you adapt the Hawaiians arc, then you're just like, bro, you literally can't stop because of where the Hawaiians arc ends. You literally cannot stop. You've committed to this. You can't stop. Like, especially where the Hawaiians arc ends. She's not terrible. Ichinose is good. Mizuhara is evil. The story is about Kazuya making her good side win. That doesn't make any fucking sense. That makes no fucking sense. That is like the most stupid thing I've ever fucking heard. Oh, you have a bad side and a good side, and your good side has to win. Even though, you know, if you have 2 second sides, that means you need to accept both of them. So that means your logic is completely senseless. Also, Mizuhara is not some alter ego. That's not how this fucking works. People don't work like this. You don't have just an alter fucking ego. That's not what this is. Like, Chizuru is a complete human person, and she has a part of herself that she views as bad, and she has a part of herself that isn't bad, that she views as good, but she never sees that good part of herself. Like, what in Jiminy Christmas? What the fuck are we talking about? Her good side needs to win. Bro, literally, Reiji was literally talking about people don't understand Chizuru's character. Like, what the fuck? Like, literally, Reiji was just straight up saying, y'all don't understand Chizuru's character. Like, what the fuck? It's so funny. These people are so fucking funny. Like, how? How do you even get to that kind of conclusion? Mizuhara has literally not been here the entire time. Chizuru looks like a koala. See, that's cute. Chizuru does kind of look like a koala here. Even though koalas are stupid idiots. People hate that this is the most popular section and is getting a season 2. Even after Kazuya and Mizuhara get together, I want more chapters. After waiting so long, we'll expect to know. Yeah, I really think like it's not just gonna end after they get together. It doesn't feel like he set up a decent amount for it to not end after they get together. Once you get the specific point in the anime adaptation of the manga, or if you are too far in the kind of given that it'll be seen through to the end. Yeah. Like, they've already committed really hard. It doesn't make much sense to let's just like stop after season 4. It makes no fucking sense in my opinion. Like, you can't adapt that much and then just stop. Like, that's a really weird. Mizuhara is Vader and Ichinose is Anakin. That makes no fucking sense because he was always Anakin. He just chose to be Vader. It was a choice. They're not alter egos. They're the same fucking person. He gave in to his insecurities and became the bad person. They're not separate entities. Mizuhara is the bad. No, that's not. No. Mizuhara is not Chizuru's fucking bad side. No. Chizuru's bad side is something she views in herself that is reflected in Mizuhara, but it is not about fighting. This entire arc is not about fighting your bad side. It is about accepting it. It is about accepting you have bad feelings and you're not a bad person for feeling this way. That is the point of this arc. It is not about choosing to be good. It is not about tossing your bad side aside. It is about accepting it because everybody fucking feels negativity. Yeah, Mizuhara is Chizuru's cat son. No. 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 If anything, the reason Chizuru has her cat side is very intentional because the cat, what do cats want? Cats look like they don't fucking care, but they actually love to be cuddled. They love to be carried. They love to be taken care of, much like how Chizuru literally wants to cuddle with Kazuya and be close to him physically. So there you go. That's why Reiji intentionally has her looking that. There are fans that are superficial and totally not understanding everything as we've seen. The few that do understand are the real ones. Even after Kazuya and Mizuhara get together, I want more chat. Okay, we already read this. When the manga will end, it will end. It says they're carefully adapting it is the point. Getting 2 cours for season 4 is crazy. That's amazing, actually. That's so great. Do you remember when Kazuya took a bath and he had Chizuru as a standing hugging him? Huh? He had Chizuru as a stand hugging him. I don't know what you're talking about. Ruka was Chizuru's wrong idea of what Kazuya wants, correct? And Umi was Kazuya's wrong idea of what Chizuru wants, kind of correct. After Kazuya and Chizuru get together, these characters will be addressed by them as a couple. Yep. Because her cafes. Luke, Kazuya, Chizuru, Anakin, Vader, Mommy, Emperor Palpatine. That's funny. In the next chapter, Chizuru will whisper something into Kazuya's ear, grabbing the spotlight for sure. Ooh, that would be interesting. I don't know, though. At what point do you see Rent-A-Girlfriend going to the movie route or to move along the story? Because I can't foresee this going to 8+ seasons since we're only roughly halfway to the present. I don't know what you're talking about. I phrase that a little differently. I don't understand. My cat is clingy as fuck, sweet key. Yeah, my cat, like sometimes doesn't want to be with me. Sometimes he's like clingy as fuck. Man, you are gaslighting yourself into thinking Mizuhara is the Tifa like perfect waifu character. Tifa isn't the perfect waifu character. She's intentionally presented to be the perfect waifu character. But Tifa is actually very flawed and messy and lies and does a lot of bad things. And she views herself as a bad person. Dude, the start of Final Fantasy VII is the characters committing terror. It is literally the characters blowing shit up and hurting people. They are literally, and they question, are we the bad guys? And then Tifa willingly commits to doing this and actually does something bad too. And then she blames herself for it. So, yeah, they are very similar. Tifa is not some perfect magical girl. She has these traits, she has these elements, but Tifa does do bad things. And you're from what I'm understanding, you have not played the original Final Fantasy VII. Have you, Chupto? Have you played the original Final Fantasy VII? Have you actually seen the original? Because if you have, you would know Tifa does do bad things. Like, she's not a perfect character, and that's what makes her good. That's what makes Tifa so interesting, is that she's not a perfect character. She's not some perfect, amazing waifu. She does wrong things. Like, she's not perfect. Neither is Aerith. Aerith is not perfect either. She also does wrong things. Like, there's literally a subtle underlying story in Final Fantasy VII Rebirth about how Aerith is actually unintentionally hurting Tifa. And in the same way, Tifa is actively jealous of Aerith. But they're also very close friends. And you have that contrasting dichotomy between Tifa and Aerith, where they're very close to each other, and they care about each other, but they're also constantly at clashes with each other, and they have to constantly lie, and they're literally constantly lying to Cloud the entire time, even though they know otherwise. And they keep trying to like get through it by just like, okay, just hold on, and then they keep still lying. They're not perfect characters. Like the idea of Final Fantasy VII is to accept the bad sides of ourselves, is to accept that life like sucks sometimes and you will lose things and things may not go like you want, but you gotta persevere because that's what makes life worth living. That's why like the next game will have a very dark part of it. Like the next game is gonna be dark as fuck. And people don't realize that. That the next Final Fantasy VII game, the Final Fantasy VII Remake trilogy, is going to be dark as fuck because that's when the series really gets fucking dark. And you start really delving into the bad sides of the characters. Like every single character in Final Fantasy VII has a really bad side to them. None of them are like completely truly altruistic. They all do things because they want to. Now I'm not angry. I'm just passionately discussing the series. I'm not angry. I'm not angry. I'm literally just pointing out like he doesn't realize the hypocrisy in his words. I'm simply pointing that out. If I was angry, I'd be screaming a lot more. I'm very controlled right now. I'm literally just pointing out the misunderstanding about the story. That's all. Like he's viewing Tifa as this magical perfect waifu character when she is not. She was literally never written this way. She was never presented this way. She's presented as perfect and motherly intentionally so. She has the perfect ass, she has the perfect tits, she has the perfect hair, she has the motherly vibe to her, intentionally so as a subversion. Tifa is a fundamental subversion of the initial concept because while she is these things, she also has bad parts to her character. Chizuru is the reverse of this. Chizuru has every single aspect that Tifa has conceptually on purpose to play into that idea. She has a motherly vibe to her. She has big boobs, big ass, big tits. She has long, perfect legs. She's amazing. She's perfect in every conceivable way, and yet she's also not perfect because that's what makes her human. She's conceptually both the idea of perfection and the fundamental antithetical concept of perfection because that is what it means to be human. And that is literally Tifa's character. And she also feels very unworthy of Cloud, by the way. Tifa also feels extremely unworthy of Cloud for the same exact reasons as Chizuru does. That to Kazuya, that Cloud is kind of like a hero to her. He saves her. She literally says, "Be my hero. Come and save me." Because because of how she treated him as a kid. Tifa treated Cloud like shit as a kid. And she didn't realize that she hurt him. At the same time, Cloud was also being a complete dumbass as a kid. And they do this again when they're adults. They don't communicate properly. Mizuhara is pragmatic, rational, superficial. Chizuru is dreamy, romantic, clingy. Ichinose is confessed to him. Mizuhara is the one who rejected him. But that's your problem though, is you're separating the two. They're one and the same. When you separate the two, you separate someone's whole. They're one and the same. You can't have no, that's not what's happening. No, that's not what's happening. Chizuru switched to the idea of like that because she felt she need to make this choice. If anything, Mizuhara sometimes kind of reflects her responsibility. But even then, even as Mizuhara, parts of Ichinose show, Kazuya says this. I will read you what Kazuya says, right? Kazuya literally corrects you. Kazuya literally corrects you. Like, you literally, what you're saying is straight up wrong. Kazuya literally corrects you. It's almost as if there's no one in this world who could hate this girl. Chupto, challenge accepted. She's actually closer to when she is a rental. She never affects a persona, a gentleness that always crops up no matter who she's talking to, a brightness that never lets the mood turn sour, and a strong heart which doesn't easily get carried away with the flow. Even now, I wonder if she isn't playing the part of the perfect girlfriend, but weirdly, I feel certain. This is her true nature. This is the real Mizuhara. If you think about it, if I think back, that's how she's always been. She's always been straightforward from the very start. She's always said that's what's right is right and what's wrong is wrong. But she'd never push things on me or bring up things from the past. She was always thoughtful, modest, respectful of other people, always hard on herself and kind to others. She's literally kind to mommy even though mommy's treating her like shit. She was never putting on an act. She was always been this way. He literally contradicts you. Kazuya hangs out with her and literally starts peeing past the facade that Mizuhara and Ichinose are the same thing. They're a singular person named Chizuru, not one or the other. They are both the same existence. To separate Mizuhara from Ichinose is to separate Chizuru into two separate people. That's not how this works. Mizuhara is Ichinose, as Ichinose is Mizuhara. It is ultimately Chizuru. She's not two separate people. She is one person. They blend. They coalesce. Sometimes she's Ichinose and Mizuhara at the same time. Sometimes one has more presence. Sometimes other has more presence. But they are the same person. You can't separate the other. They are ultimately the same thing. Even when she is being pragmatic, she's being dreamy at the same time. So literally, she's chasing a dream throughout the entire story of fulfilling this dream of showing Chizuru showing her grandmother this film. And she's pragmatic about it, but she keeps fucking chasing it. If they were two separate people, that wouldn't be the case. That doesn't make any fucking sense. They are literally both her. She's both a realist and a dreamer, just as Kazuya is a dreamer who is a realist. Okay, I'm gonna stop the discussion for now. Gollum and Smeagol are split personalities. Vader and Anakin are essentially the side of the same coin. Correct. Yeah, Vader and Anakin are the same person. Like Vader just chose, like literally he chooses who it's a choice. It's not literally two split personalities. Hey Fate, do you wonder why we search anime boyfriend tier list or romance protagonist tier list that Kazuya is on the F tier of the bottom? This is what the majority of people say out there. That's pretty easy. Kazuya is very unconventional. He's not traditionally masculine, and he looks like a loser to a lot of people, and everyone loves to call him a loser. So naturally, the people's first impression is Kazuya at the bottom because he looks like a little bitch. There you go. You can split the characters. You can't split the characters like that. Kazuya noticed during the shopping that the real Chizuru is almost literally the same as her rental girlfriend Mizuhara. It's almost more true to Chizuru. If they don't settle this now, Kazuya will literally move from her house, so there will be no encounter. Yeah, they're gonna settle this. They're gonna settle this. Let's just ignore sometimes you have to leave people in their ignorance. Yeah, I know, but she can't accept her past and degraded probably because of her insecure trauma. That's why she is. They're not. No. So you're starting to get there. You're getting there. We're starting to kind of get to you a little bit. Thank God. But no, not quite. It's not because she can't accept her bad side because of her trauma, but rather because these desires, these feelings, these negativities that she feels should not be a part of love, as she has come to understand love from this fairy tale perspective. So when you introduce that idea, suddenly her inability to accept these bad parts of herself makes a lot of sense, and how a lot of people actively reinforce it for her. So what happens? Mommy calls her a whore and a gold digger. Then Grandma Nagomi starts saying these things too and starts kind of believing them. She's like, oh, you lied to your grandmother in the end. You're a bad person. Then Ruka calls her a cuck, right? She cucked Ruka. Right? And everybody was happy about that, but she still hurt Ruka. So all of these things pile on as guilt, as you're a bad person for feeling this way. Kazuya has similar things happen to him. So he's constantly conditioned. He's a creep. He's a pervert. He's not allowed to feel the way he's allowed to feel. He has to act like a gentleman. He cannot express these things outwards. It's not just trauma and security. It's literally social conditioning. It is literally social anxiety and social conditioning of how you should act, but being told you cannot act this way. You're not allowed to act this way. This is why I actively say we, the readers, are the foil. We are the problem, because these social conditioning elements stem from traditional tropes found in traditional romance manga and anime, as well as what people literally say about these characters, something Reiji is very keenly aware of and actively reflecting back at us as the readers. He knows what we're thinking. Not like when we explode on Twitter and like lose it and just spread a whole bunch of misinformation, but rather how our perception shapes our bias. That's really important. The trauma, their insecurities, isn't just because I had a shitty life. It's literally current trauma. It's literally trauma they're currently going through, and they have to kind of overcome together. They can't do it alone. The thing people don't realize, and I mention this quite frequently just to constantly remind people, you can't deal with trauma, depression, and grief alone. You shouldn't. You should never deal with these things alone. You need people. If we are alone, we may as well be dead. You need other people. You should try to always connect to other people. It doesn't matter whether they're family, friends, or something else. You need to try to connect to people. You can't do things alone. And this is that. This is them overcoming these struggles that they have faced this entire time together, as they have throughout the entire story. They always overcome these things together, not alone, right? You cannot. Vader could not overcome his bad side alone. He needed Luke. Luke, in the end, needed to help him snap out of it and like actually make the choices he wanted to make, even if it was literally on his goddamn deathbed. They need each other. You cannot do these things alone. It is that simple. So it's literally kind of the same here. It's the same for these characters here. Chizuru is struggling with accepting her bad side because she's been conditioned she's not allowed to have that in this love. And she's been conditioned she needs to suppress it and put it away. She's been told by a lot of people. And when people call her bad here, it is literally hypocritical because you are reinforcing the thing she already knows and is trying to get rid of when she cannot get rid of it. You cannot win by being just good. You need to win by accepting good and bad. That's life. Kazuya is the same, right? He has his bad side slowly starting to come out. He needs to just let it out. He needs to just kind of let this stuff out, and it's okay that you're not a bad person for feeling this way. You are not necessarily good. Good and bad are things you do, not things you are. Sometimes you can be good and bad. Sometimes you can be good and bad. You do enough good, you do enough bad, you can become these things. That's why we have to do them in equal measure, so we are not defined simply by the immediate action. Because you do enough bad, you will be bad. You do enough good, you will be just good, just perfect. There are extremes of every scenario. No, he will end up with his grandma. Do you think Chizuru and Kazuya will end up together? Yes, totally. They are the ship of the story. Sorry. Just join the stream. Do you think he would have a time skip? No, I don't think so. It literally says there's no time skip. It doesn't seem like there's a time skip. No. We're getting a flashback at most. A retrospective from Chizuru's POV and a flashback to recontextualize the date in the next chapter. But we're not getting a time skip. No. I refuse to believe we're getting a time skip. They literally said the date is not over. They literally said the date is not over until you get home. Right? And then it says the moonlight illuminates the princess, as if to rewrite the story to give us a clearer perspective on Chizuru, the princess of this narrative. And then we get hints as to the absolutely not and what's going on with that. I don't want them to solve this feelings of the time skip, but now then I want to see their love story, etc. There's not going to be a time skip. They're going to solve it before any time skip. Okay? We're good. Everything's cool. Everything is awesome. Everything is cool when you're part of a team. Watch me just get demonetized for that. Just that stupid like singing of that one song from the Lego movie gets me fucking demonetized. That'd be so funny. Do you think the mistakes she's made are irreversible? To some degree, yes. That's a part of her grief. That is a part of her grief. Well, it's never been a full moon in the story. I don't think we've ever seen a proper full moon in the story. But no, I don't. I think there are things she believes are irreversible, like the guilt she feels over her grandmother and lying to her, but not completely. I don't think that's completely. I wish Umi can show up since Mommy did. Mommy represents Kazuya moving on from past Samizara. I should settle things with Umi. Umi did show up. That's actually weird. Umi did show up. Chizuru was literally about to turn him down, and he's like, nah, I want to keep loving you. I'm like, bitch. Fuck you, Umi. Motherfucker. Fucking hate this dude. No, they'll deal with them after. It feels like these are things they will deal with this after this point. Kazuya, the next chapter of Chizuru's house. Kazuya was the same place as her. He would have done something. Do you think Chizuru is talking in the same way as if it's a sad... It's kind of misleading you by design. Just take it with that. Just take it with that idea. It's kind of misleading you by design. It's meant to be, it's a retrospective with the present. Just as her words feel like the present and the past. It's intentional. It's about the present and the past in order to look to the future. I find it funny how there are stars in the moon, lol. In the moon? There's stars next to the moon. There's no stars on the moon. Tiny bit disappointed Kazuya didn't bleed after running into the post. It would have been cooler to see him carrying the injured Chizuru while he is Forehead bleeds. He wanted to keep loving Chizuru while dating 20 other girls. Who the fuck are we talking about? Who the fuck are we talking about? What? He's not dating Mommy. He's not dating Sumi. He sure as hell ain't dating Minnie. And Ruka, they literally agreed to put her to the side for now because she's a problem they need to deal with alone. Or together, sorry. They deal with together. So, no clue what you're talking about. I don't know about that one, Chief. He's literally technically dating one other girl, and he feels super bad about it because he needs to clear stuff up, but it's also a situation of Ruka's own making. So, yeah. Even in the canon story, he only ever dated Ruka, and he went on rental dates with Sumi. That's it. Nothing other than that. He didn't mean Mommy consensually. Mommy always came to him, and eventually Ruka was like, "Fuck off." But no, I don't know where you got that one from, Chief. If Kazuya doesn't end up with Chizuru, then he'll end up with Sumi because all the other significant characters are traps by design for the readers to self-insert as the villains of the story. That's a really weird interpretation, buddy. There are 2 dates if you look read close, and not a big deal though. Two what? 2 dots? I have no idea what you're talking about. Good night, Johan. I'm a dream about Kazuya and Mizuhara making a happy family tonight. Like it would. Good night. Would it be Reiji moving to say, "Oh, by the way, next chapter is the final chapter when we eventually get there"? That is weird. That is very weird. That doesn't make any sense. I was talking about Umi. Oh, Umi. Yeah, Umi's weird. Umi is so Umi. The best way I can describe Umi to you is that he's dating other girls and he never feels content. He never feels happy or fulfilled. That's why he wants Chizuru. But if the only reason you want this person is to fill a hole that you feel like you're missing, and not like for like, it's weird. Umi's love for Chizuru feels very strange. It feels like he wants her for what she represents, not necessarily for who she is. It feels very like, it feels like selfish love. And it feels like it's something Reiji parallels in the movie arc between Ruka and Umi, where Umi's selfish love is presented very negatively, whereas Ruka's selfish love is presented in a more positive light. And the Umi visit when he goes to Chizuru's home is contrasted by the Sumi visit, where when Sumi shows up to Chizuru's home, it was planned between her and Chizuru, but Chizuru forgot. Umi shows up at Chizuru's home completely unannounced, and it's completely for him and not for Chizuru. Sumi feels shit for Kazuya, but she puts herself aside to make sure Chizuru's okay. To make sure Chizuru has a happy birthday. It's not about her, it's about Chizuru. She wants to make sure Chizuru is okay. Umi, in contrast, makes it a whole lot about him. And everything about it is about him. And he comes in just as Kazuya was about to push Chizuru to get some sort of answer because he felt close, which would have actually been a bad choice. And in so doing, it reflects how Chizuru deals with the situation where she puts Kazuya first. And she's like, okay, I saw Umi taking a risk, even though he knows he's not going to get anything out of this. So I'm going to try to take a risk too. I'm going to try to take a risk and be with Kazuya and go on this date with Kazuya. So she asks Kazuya out on a date. And that's how they go to the nursery trip. Because it's unplanned, because it's something completely different, because she did it on a whim, they ended up getting the result they wanted. Because they just kind of did the thing they wanted and opened up about it. Whereas the reason this date kind of doesn't work is because it is completely planned, and that's the problem. It should have been a little bit more unprompted. It should have been less planned. It should have been something they just kind of did together. But because he was with Minnie, and Minnie kept telling him, do this, do that, do this, it orchestrated itself like a rental date. Kazuya was the rental boyfriend to Chizuru's client, and they didn't see each other in this entire date. Umi will never be with Chizuru. A river will never be enough for the sea. She's like, but not just that. Chizuru literally means 1,000 paper cranes. Paper cranes are like water. Water destroys paper. And Chizuru is on a current that flows. That Chizuru doesn't. Ichinose does not mean river. Ichinose means a current, a singular current. That's what it means. Ichi, one, no, connecting phrase, se, current or riptide. So that means she's just a current in the like literally, if you just put Chizuru and Umi together, it's a bad pairing, because Chizuru is 1,000 paper cranes, whereas Umi is the sea. He literally corrodes the paper, right? He literally corrodes the dream. Whereas Kazuya's name, Kazuya means peace and harmony. That's his name. So he's the peace and harmony to Chizuru's 1,000 paper cranes that make dreams come true. And her last name, Ichinose, being current, connects directly to Kazuya's last name, which literally means shared under a tree. So she is the current from a river to Kazuya's trees. She nourishes the trees, and they share the peace and harmony under those trees. He literally protects her from the rain, just like her name, or just like her lineage. Sorry, just like her lineage, he protects her from the rain because because of his family lineage of being a tree. He is the thing that keeps her safe. So do you see how that is? But then Umi's name, Umi Nakano. Umi means sea, so his first name is sea, but then his last name is like a middle piece of land. So his name contrasts his first name. He's like the entire ocean stuck or tied to this land, and like he's literally tied to the acting industry. Like it's literally tying him down, where he's literally the entire ocean. But do you see how like Umi's name is literally contradictory in nature and doesn't actually match with the characters? He's literally antithetical to Chizuru, right? Whereas Kazuya is literally exactly what she needs. Umi tried to intimidate Kazuya in the tiger's den by inviting him to. It's like, look at the world, look at what I can offer her. You don't belong here. Kind of. He also wanted to pull a fast one. What Umi wanted to do is pull a fast one where he tries to say what Chizuru felt for Kazuya because he assumed Chizuru had already said that to him. That's why he repeats it 3 times. I don't not like you. He says it 3 times to Kazuya like he just pulled a fast one. Like he's super fucking clever. And then Kazuya just responds normally. And Umi initially looks kind of disappointed. He's like, what the fuck? Huh. That's not the response I was expecting. I thought I got him. But then to Umi, he's like, oh, this is an opportunity, though. I can use this. She has not told him his feelings. That means I still have a chance. So he goes for it. But that just pisses Chizuru off. It just annoys her. Because Umi used this pretense of, I'm throwing a party for your thing, to celebrate your film, and I want you to bring the guy you like along to just fucking confess to her in the middle of this thing and then tell her you don't have to give me your answer right away. So he literally throws this thing on her in the middle of the night under completely wrong pretenses, and he's literally, their friendship kind of broke. That's why Chizuru doesn't talk to him for like a good while. And then she feels guilty about it because of how he approaches it later. So literally Umi kind of gills her. With how he approaches things. Yeah, Chizuru and Umi will literally never happen. Chizuru understands, maybe his feelings are genuine, but literally their relationship is about to fucking break. And that's the reason Chizuru doesn't talk to him, but Umi can never feel fulfilled because he's with all these other girls that he doesn't care about. And he literally reenacts the 3-month time skip, but for the wrong reasons. Remember how we see Umi in chapter 282? Yeah, I believe it's chapter 282. Do you guys remember how we see Umi in that chapter? Pay attention to this very closely. This is for White Day. White Day is the dude's version of Valentine's Day. On Valentine's Day, girls give guys a chocolate. On White Day, the guy gives the girl he likes a chocolate. He got her a gift for White Day, and guess what he says? Sorry, it's a month late. Does this sound familiar? It's the 3-month time skip. It's literally the 3-month time skip. Except, what does Umi do? He's with this girl who's happy, and by the way, has similar hair to Chizuru, and he just gave her a gift, and what does he do? He pulls out his phone, looks a little annoyed. I see, that's good. He looks a little annoyed, and then he's looking at Chizuru. The fuck, dude? Whereas Chizuru constantly focuses on Kazuya. She goes out of her way to give Kazuya a gift. She apologizes. She says, I'm sorry. Like, she actually fucking means it. She explains what happened. She's not looking at anybody else. She's looking directly at him. Like, Chizuru's trying to do better. She's not acting out of her own desires. It's not selfish. She literally stops herself from holding his hand because she doesn't feel like she's allowed to. While Umi is literally looking at another girl while being with this one, who clearly cares for him. Which, by the way, she has ribbons like Ruka. Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ, this poor girl is this Ruka. This poor girl is this Ruka. Yeah. So do you see how like Umi's love is inherently by its fundamental nature selfish, whereas Chizuru and Kazuya's love by its fundamental nature is selfless, but it has selfish sides to it. Umi completely loses himself in the selfish part of his love. Kazuya is selfless but wants selfish things, just as Chizuru wants selfish things. Kazuya and Chizuru are like a balance, whereas Umi is an extreme, Aruka is an extreme. And it's literally about learning to find that balance with your good half, your bad half, your selfish love, your selfless love. It's about just accepting yourself as a whole. That's why acceptance is a massive theme. Yeah, Umi is a jerk. I've kind of committed to the fact that Umi is a jerk, considering his inspiration is Coach Mitaka from what is it, Maison Ikoku, and that dude also gaslights and guilts the shit out of Kyoko. Yeah, Umi's kind of a dick. He's not a complete asshole. He has like good parts to him. He is capable of good. He's not a complete asshole, but he's kind of an asshole. And he has a coming. The dude kind of has a coming, right? But yeah, Umi's kind of an asshole. But at the same time, not a complete asshole. I assume another 2 years until the end at least. Don't give people the wrong idea. They're gonna be like, oh, they're not gonna get together for another 2 years. Shoot, what else is there to talk about? I kind of ran out of some of the things to talk about because I've already talked about a lot, and it feels like I just kind of want to write something or make some stuff. Umi's just obsessed with Chizuru. I think there is love there. I think there genuinely is love between Chizuru and Umi. But it doesn't feel like sorry, Umi loves Chizuru. Chizuru does not love Umi. There is a genuine thing in Umi's love, but it's overshadowed by his selfishness, his jealousy. Just popped in to say my piggyback ride prediction came true. I feel like it was kind of a given. I think we should have all seen it coming, to be honest. Like, so you were right. I don't recall when you said this, but I feel like we should have all seen it coming. A piggyback was kind of inevitable. It's how it played out and the intention for it that's different. Also, we got Mizuharu's inner voice I asked for. I either read so much manga that I can predict what happens next, or Reiji reads comments. The roughs. So the roughs, it's not so much you predicting the manga, it's that you're right. You've read a lot, so you know the tropes. What Reiji loves to do with his storytelling that's very unique, he gives you the trope that you're very familiar with and then subverts it. He both gives you the trope and subverts it. So this is the trope you're familiar with. This is some of the stuff people probably predicted. Like Kazuya would carry her on his back and Chizuru would talk about her feelings and shit. This was all inevitable. However, how he's doing it is what's interesting. How it's being played out is what's interesting. So Kazuya giving her a piggyback ride was inevitable. However, it plays directly into the themes of the conflict of Kazuya like putting his feelings aside for her, but her kind of misunderstanding that selfless act, even though it makes her happy. So Kazuya feels happy that Chizuru was so selfless on the date, and Chizuru feels happy that he's giving her a piggyback ride that she wanted a ride back home, and it makes her feel good, but she hates herself for feeling good, right? So it's that contradiction. It plays directly into the themes of selflessness and selfishness being a contradiction for the characters and how they hate themselves for feeling certain ways. So the trope is exactly as you expected. The meaning of the trope is completely different. That makes sense. What do you think of Ruka? Like, I like her. She's kind of a brat, but I find her adorable. I hope by the end of the story, she'll finally get someone who will love her back and make her feel special. I think what Ruka wants is kind of misunderstood. She feels like she's lacking something, and she wants to fill that hole with Kazuya. She's doing kind of the reverse of Umi, where Umi feels like he's lacking something, and Chizuru can fill that for him. Ruka feels like Kazuya can make her feel whole, where because she feels like she's lacking in something as a byproduct of like a something she has with her. With Umi, it's through the acting business. He feels like everyone is shallow, so he wants someone who's real. Chizuru just happens to be real and like almost literally everything he wants, so he goes after her, not because she is who she is. With the Ruka, it's kind of the same, but Ruka eventually does develop love for Kazuya, and it's about her learning to do to love him, not for her selfish reasons, but for her selfless ones, because she actually cares for him. She's the reverse of Chizuru. Chizuru loves Kazuya very selflessly, but she needs to accept her selfish side. Ruka needs to start accepting her selfless side because she's very selfish. So they're the reverse of each other. Just as Umi is the reverse of Kazuya. Umi has a very selfish kind of love as a contrast to Kazuya's selfless love. Umi needs to start becoming more selfless and start actually like appreciating the people around him, whereas Kazuya needs to start becoming a little bit more selfish and accepting his bad side, that there's nothing wrong for feeling the way that he does. If anyone watched the sitcom Friends, Umi and Kazuya's dynamic is just Chandler and Richard, but more bitter. I watched Friends, but I don't remember it. Like a long time ago. Now I think about it, what if there isn't a fight, but just Chizuru breaking down in front of Kazuya and Kazuya is just listening to her, being her wall and her understanding her? But wouldn't that be like the movie arc? I feel like a fight needs to happen. Because we see hints of the fight. We literally see hints of it. Kazuya gets mad at the pole. He gets angry. He's lashing out. He's getting pissed. He has a lot of questions. He has a lot of things he wants to say, and he's not saying them. This is about Kazuya saying what he wants to say. So much of this is about Kazuya and Chizuru saying what they actually want and like voicing it out. It's literally the scene with Robin in One Piece where she gets captured and Luffy is like, say you want to fucking live. Say what you want. That's literally this. But no Luffy screaming at you. This is something they both want, right? Say what you want. Chizuru and Kazuya both get what they wanted, but not in the way either wanted. Kazuya gets to hold her, and Chizuru gets to physical contact. Yeah, I mean they want to hold each other. On the last page, the board between Kazuya's legs reads Todatsu. This one, which means to jump out. I think that this mean something to jump out? Well, it is a little. I think it's supposed to be like a warning for kids. Like, you know how kids go to parks, so they're like warning them, oh, be careful and shit like that to people who are like, a kid may jump out, do be careful, something like that. So I think that's kind of fitting considering they go to a park and Chizuru kind of looks like a kid here. Ruka loves Kazuya to a point she would let him go if it meant him being happy. She comes to that conclusion eventually. Eventually, in the Paradise arc, she reaches that point, but she's not completely there yet. And this arc is her slowly getting to that point. Fill that hole, calm down. Jesus Christ. Let's see if there's anything on Twitter that I have yet to see. Oh, okay. This is a Japanese fan that I like to read the work of, so this is perfect. Copy. Who will start the fight? Maybe Chizuru, maybe Kazuya. I honestly don't know. It could be both. Maybe Kazuya will inadvertently start it. Front color page, Chizuru standing by the pool. It's been a while since I've seen her with that hairstyle. Yup, we have not seen Chizuru with the rental hairstyle. It has been a very, very long time. And I think it was literally supposed to be foreshadowing for when we got to the end of the chapter and she says how she's a rental girlfriend. Depression, conflict, my mind is spinning, confusion. We met awkward, slowly, since when? From the beginning, because carefully, I back. It's okay. Yeah, my name is when I'm with him. Summer is almost here, or is it already summer climate-wise? Kazuya is feeling down. Then he crashes into a utility pole. Kazuya was talking to the Kibe was talking to the utility pole too. Oh yeah, Kibe when he got drunk started screaming at a utility pole. I like tried to ask it out. That's funny. He's hailing the utility pole in two ways. What does Chizuru's words really mean? I can't wrap my head around it. Then unexpectedly they bump into each other. This is scary, and both of them feel awkward. Here, the blister on her foot was probably at its limit. It was earlier than expected. Kazuya had been preparing for a long time, and Chizuru herself was looking forward to it. But I love that I technically called this. I love that I actually technically called this. I'll read my thread on Twitter. I technically called this. Maybe during the day, the fun made him forget about it to some extent. Chizuru tries to leave. I want to see that, but Kazuya kneels down. Here it comes, the piggyback scene. If you hurt your leg, it's kind of a cliche. Yeah, it's intentionally a cliche because it's playing into the idea of fairy tales. There was a similar situation in Hawaiians, though it was just Kazuya's imagination. At the church, Chizuru rejected him, and he thought he was rejected and became a shell of himself. Just as he was about to give up on the relationship, the incident happened. Even though he was rejected, he risked his life to protect Chizuru in her time of need. Yep, so this is a mirror to the Hawaiians arc. Whether their relationship is romantic or not, whether they've been rejected or not, Kazuya's determination to act on Chizuru's sake never wavers. Even if they end up living apart after this, at least for a while, I think he'll still be thinking about Chizuru and various other things. Back to the piggyback ride. While I was thinking it's cute that she keeps leaning on Kazuya, there's not a huge height difference, so the size of the piggyback ride feels a bit off. But Chizuru is kind of short without her heel. Remember her boots are like they give her a little bit of size, so she's actually shorter. Return home while still on the piggyback ride. It wasn't on the main story, but in the other media, there are occasional piggyback scenes. But in all of them, Chizuru can only say and it's mostly a silent piggyback ride. Well, I love that, but this time it's the same. I'd like to smile at the atmosphere as usual, but this time, since it's after the investigation results were revealed, there's a different kind of awkwardness. So I can't just enjoy it simply, which is frustrating. Matching the characters themselves and how they can't enjoy this even though it's literally what they want. On top of that, Chizuru's monologue is included this time. It's kind of a monologue from Chizuru. This kind of monologue from Chizuru, especially one where she speaks so firmly, is rare. So it feels like the flow of the story might change significantly. Before and after meeting Kazuya, the environment surrounding Chizuru must have changed drastically, and there were many events, encounters, and achievements that occurred because of meeting Kazuya. Not everything, but most of it was triggered by Kazuya. In a way, meeting Kazuya set Chizuru's story in motion. Chizuru herself acknowledges this, or is beginning to accept it. But there are still parts she hasn't fully confronted yet. The things that were created because she met Kazuya, the things that wouldn't have been possible if she hadn't met him, the things brought to her by Kazuya. How important these things are to Chizuru, how invaluable Kazuya is to her for bringing them to her. The final monologue of this season seemed to be beginning to delve into these. The final monologue of this season seemed to be beginning to delve into those areas. The preview for the title is absolutely not. She said the same thing at the pool in the final episode of Hawaiian's arc. It seems like she's beginning to confront the significance of Kazuya's existence to her, but she's still struggling with inner conflict. However, in a way, even if she doesn't lead to a complete turnaround, it might be interesting if it ends with Chizuru beginning to realize this. She's becoming aware of her feelings for Kazuya, but due to that movement, they're finally separated for the first time. And while she wants to approach him as someone who has rejected once, it doesn't make sense for her to take the initiative. This kind of internal conflict could be interesting, or rather, more amusing. Although, also Kazuya was a bit more concerned, but when she told him the results of the investigation, he said, "I'm sorry," but didn't go as far as saying, "I can't date you." If she means I'm sorry because they didn't reach a proper conclusion yet, that might lead to another misunderstanding. These details might be addressed in Shizuru's monologue next time. So Kazuya suddenly appears. While his mind is spinning, he encounters Chizuru. In an awkward silence, he notices her blister. He silently accepts her feelings and decides to carry her on his back. Despite initially refusing, Kazuya persisted, and Chizuru eventually gave in. On Kazuya's back, Chizuru begins to speak in her own monologues. What kind of story will unfold? What feelings has Chizuru been hiding? How will her emotions evolve as a result? It's both exciting and intriguing, but let's keep pushing for another week. Damn, that was a really good read. I'm feeling brief romance with Minnie incoming. Nah. Nah. Minnie and Kazuya shippers, I'm sorry, you are not seeing the big picture here. Minnie and Kazuya is not a ship. They are a friendship. They are a friendship, but they are not a ship. Kazuya will initiate like he did in the aquarium, and Chizuru will take up most of it. Unlike the aquarium, Nagomi won't interrupt them. That's how I see it happening. Yeah, pretty insightful. It was pretty interesting. Yeah. Okay, how long have we been streaming? Let me check how long I've been streaming. Yeah, we're about 3 hours in. I think this is a good stop. I would stream longer, but I think it's best to stop. I want to edit this and make it into um a thing. Also give us a little bit of time to breathe and kind of think. Maybe I can watch the last episode of the Shiyunji family since it just came out. I might as well. Yeah, I think we should just watch it. Just a nice goodbye to the Shiyunji family. There we go. So yeah, we'll just watch the last episode of the Shiyunji family, and I think that will be good for now. It had 12 episodes, I believe, right? It had 12 episodes. So yeah, I think I'll just watch this, and then if we notice anything else, if anyone else points out something, we'll go from there. But for now, I think this is a good stopping point. And then I'll work on like editing a few videos that I want to put out, and we'll go from there. If anyone has any suggestions or anything, let me know. All right. Final episode. Let's roll. Is the final episode them in the mountains? All right. Bye. Jesus Christ. Swimsuits. I like how everybody left. If people don't care for the Shiyunji family, I can just watch it on my own. If people do not care for me to watch the Shiyunji family, that's completely fine. I can watch it on my own. Because if you guys don't care, we don't need to stream this. If you guys do not care about that, we do not need to stream this. I'll just like read through some of the other things on here, see if there's anything I missed. Have a good night. Oh, this is cool. So this is the magazine cover, and Chizuru is on there. They're clearly building something, right? I think both the release of season 4 and like the very beginning next week, as well as the finale of part 1 of season 4 are going to be big for the manga too. So I think both of those are going to be big. So next week's going to be big. See if there's anything else I'm missing. We do. What does we do? Fallout plus cry out plus crash out equals make out. Will you do another stream on this chapter? This chapter feels deeper than it looks as Chizuru's mature. As Chizuru's first future narration, maybe it's connected to something in past chapters. I feel like it's not future. I feel like it looks like the future, but it's actually kind of the present. It's like a bit of the future, a bit of the present too. But yeah, I'll do another one tomorrow. I'll do another one tomorrow. No problem. That's no issue. I'm just like looking through Twitter right now to see if there's anything I missed. Okay. I think this will be good now. So I think now is a good stopping point. Let me pull myself back up. Okay. So for those who watch the stream, if you enjoyed, please consider subscribing, hit the like button, hit the bell icon, get the uploads, all that fun stuff. I'm gonna edit this down so it's a little more watchable. Chapter 288 will be the mirror of chapter 388. 288? I mean, I don't see the logic there, but I'll look at them later. But yeah, no, if you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing and like button the bell icon, keep up with the uploads, consider supporting me on Patreon, all that fun stuff. I'll be working on trimming this down, and I'll be working on a few different videos. There's like a few things I want to put out. Don't add move out lawless bacon. Oh my god. But yeah, that's it for now. Thank you guys for watching. I'll make a future stream going into it tomorrow. We'll do another stream tomorrow and we'll get into it. With that said, love you, bro. Keep doing this. Thank you. Sure. Cinema. And I'll see you guys later. I'll just be talking to like a few people and sorting out my thoughts and all that fun stuff. Alrighty. Take care. And remember, fellas, let's mosey.